Oh my goodness. Hey, T-Suppers, 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 T-Suppers. What are we gonna do with Dirty Dog Diddy? What we gonna do with Dirty Dog Diddy, baby? And Trump. Baby. What we gonna do with both of them? They both kind of getting exposed, ain't they? Is it a New York thing? I hope not. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I ain't even seen old girl. I wonder. Whew. Lord, it's just too much going on all at one time. Too much going on all at one time. Come on in. It was 23 hours ago. Oh, girl. My girl. She done broke it down, baby. Well, I guess they still in court. Let's go on over her. 'Cause the paper trail is real. We done heard from one. We've heard over here. Devastating. Let me go here if I go over there. Let's go.
Upgrade to Google Fiber and pay one simple bill every month.
What about extra fees, like installation?
Taken care of. Equipment? No.
We finna have inflation, all right.
Confirming Jane.
With that little thing that, what I call him?
We're talking about
Dumpy Trumpy.
Text messages, graphic videos, coordinated.
Diddy ass is way, he in more trouble than we could ever imagine. Some of this trouble he in, it's just no getting out of. It's just no getting out of it. It's just no getting out of it. Ain't no way. Oh, Lord, let me put... What... I hate when I have to do it in here.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Banfield, and this is Drop Dead Serious, day 28 of the federal sex trafficking trial against Sean Diddy Combs. And it was, it was relentless, shall we say. We're talking about explicit text messages, graphic videos, coordinated travel with escorts, drug menus, baby oil, and receipts. So many receipts, like hours and hours of receipts. If you're
hours and hours.
If you're really into proving a case down to the arcane letter of the law, this was the day for you, because it was like charts and graphs and receipts and paperwork, right? Mixed in with a lot of dirty, sexy messages and evidence. So the prosecution was racing through mountains and mountains of the digital stuff, all the digital evidence, trying to prove that what looked like luxury and excess was actually enterprise-fueled exploitation. But the biggest shocker of the entire day was when Diddy's lawyers confirmed that he ain't going to be calling a single witness. And he's not going to be taking the stand either. Squeeze me, baking powder. I mean, honestly, I thought for sure that Diddy's lawyers would trot out a whole bunch of Diddy acolytes who would say he was the greatest. I never saw any of this. The women were into it. There was no coercion, no forced trafficking, none of this stuff, right? But there's two things I can think of. Number one, like just days away. Like I can see the finish line. And later in this episode, I'm going to need you to pour a drink, buckle up, whatever it is you do to chill, because we are diving amongst themselves, talking about sex luggages and baby oil shipments and drug bags and bags of dicks.
What?
That is not a typo. Bags of dicks. And yes, it is just about as outrageous as it sounds. And like shipments, get this much baby oil and lube. Is this enough? No, double it. Like, I'm kidding you not. It looks like it's a comedy sketch. When I read it for you in just a hot minute, you will see what I mean, but I couldn't believe it. I had to read it twice, 3 times, 4 actually, and then write it. So let me dive right into everything that happened today. Day 28 of the federal trial against Diddy picked up right where it left off with Special Agent Joseph Cerciello. Can I just say I had a long debate with my staff. Some Italian, some not Italian. How do you pronounce Cerciello? Cerciello. I thought maybe it was Cerciello or Cerciello. I don't know. But one of my Italian staff members said if there's a single C, you say C, and if it's a double C, you say ch. So while some thought it was Cerciello, I'm sticking with Cerciello, and I hope I'm not wrong, but Agent, if you're out there, call me. So he was back on the stand, and if you remember, Agent Cerciello was the one who was walking the jury through the massive charts of digital evidence. Basically what prosecutors are calling a roadmap of Diddy's alleged criminal enterprise. Today, the prosecutor zoomed in on 2 key timeframes, September 2022 and December 2021. And I'm going to start with September of 2022. Agent Cerciello walked the jury through what happened during the weekend of September 24th and September 25th, the weekend that took place across 2 cities, Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Listed on the evidence chart for those dates were 3 names: Diddy, Jane Doe, and a man named Paul Arthur. Yes, you probably remember. That's the name of an alleged escort. At least the prosecutors say an escort. There were flight records and payment records and text messages with what the feds like to call receipts, right? One of the text messages was from Diddy to KK, Christina Coram, AKA his chief of staff, and in it Diddy says, quote, really wanted to have a fun night in Vegas with someone he called.
Somebody he called who?
You've probably heard about Boxable's flagship product, the Casita. Come on in. Because this is so tall.
Her. And then came the audio messages.
Please
The
come
audio was
in,
played
hit that like
directly into
button.
the jurors' headphones, which meant you
Please.
and me and the rest of the schlubby public, everybody in the courtroom, they just had to sit there and watch in silence. And that made it really tough to follow the full context. But reporters did catch one detail.
Hi, Bianca.
In one message, KK reminds Diddy that there's a box of Plan B in his nightstand. And she repeats that reminder in a later message too. Like as if to say, if y'all go bareback, use the Plan B so you don't have any more of them kids. Okay, so then the focus shifted to texts and flights and explicit video. Agent Cerciello testified that he reviewed what he called, quote, many
Especially
hours
with somebody.
of graphic footage. Can you imagine being him? Just think for a minute. As a normal course of your workday, you're going to watch like 50 hours of Diddy porn. And what are you supposed to tell your like work colleagues? Like, sorry, this is not safe for work. Don't anybody come around my monitor. Or, hey, HR, I need to just be like watching porn for the next 5, 6, 8 days. I can't imagine. But I guess, look, if you work at sex trafficking, that is what you have to do. For Agent Cerciello, these were videos that were pulled from seized electronics. And nearly all of them featured Jane Doe and a man identified as Kabrale. And by the way, we have been thinking that Kabrale, because it's only said in court, not written to the reporters, that it was Cabrale, but today we learned it's Kabrale, Kabrale, or Kabrale, or whatever you want to say. But
y'all know they gonna, they gonna wear him out.
Past testimony, multiple times. And yes, Diddy was visible in some of the videos.
They got his first, and she gave his first and last name.
Lord. In other videos, there were additional men as well. And the jury was
Say
shown
what?
actual clips of actual freak-offs, some lasting like 45 seconds.
Did she
others
say
stretching more
additional
than 2
men?
minutes.
Hold on.
But in other videos, there were additional men as well. And the jury was shown actual
wow.
clips of actual freak-offs, some lasting like 45 seconds, others stretching more than 2 minutes. But the bulk of today's video evidence came from the week of
Hi,
December
Deb.
17th to December 21st, right
Additional
around the
men.
holidays in 2021. Merry Christmas. Agent Cerciello said that he reviewed roughly 50 separate videos.
Okay, for the ones in the back, let me take this earpiece out of my ear. Again, mind you, tea sippers, she said additional men, not women. Not women. I don't understand that fetish. Just a whole bunch of men gang banging, bang bang, gang gang, however they want to say it. One woman. What type of fetish is that? So this is not a orgy. It's a whole bunch of men. One woman. Wow. I wonder was he gangbanged or something. I wonder was he jumped like that. You know, what is his fixation with that? And it's always degrading a woman. He'll pay the hell out of men. He'll let women think they getting something from him. Now you ain't really getting nothing but used. The women are actually being used. The ones who make the money with Diddy are the guys. The one who get the most respect from him are the male hookers. Females ain't getting no money. They think they are, but if they getting $5 a visit, $5 grand a visit, and she only get $10,000 a month, do the math. The math ain't mathing. And if they getting called 2 or 3 times a week, what she getting in a month, they get in 1 week. Plus. So he really caters to the men, not the women. See, I don't know why people keep looking at it like, you know, they give the females the hard time. But the ones who milking Diddy is the male hookers. and y'all get them passes. That blow my mind. You men give the male hookers passes. Y'all call that shit G. Oh, he a G. He a G. No, he a hoe. He a hoe. You know he a hoe. How do you know? Because I'm telling you know. Yeah, he a hoe. Hi, Cliff. Oh, you took your message back. Okay, well, I take my high back. But let's keep going. Die. Ooh, wee, baby, stop mess. Come on, let's go.
17th to December 21st, right around the holidays in 2021. Merry Christmas. Agent Cerciello said that he
Feliz
reviewed
Navidad.
roughly 50 separate videos from just those 5 days. Okay, think about it. Could you shoot 50 full videos in 5 days?
No, you ain't put me on video.
Could you have
ever.
sex 50 times in 5 days? Anyway, that's what the agent said they had to watch. And some of them were only partially played for the jury. 45 seconds here, 2 minutes there. But one of them, one of the full videos was actually shown in its entirety. And the prosecution clearly here wants to show a pattern, not just of behavior, but of enterprise. Like enterprise level planning. Evidence of sex acts, coordination with escorts, cross-state, even international movement, financial records, messaging, video, all coming together. And then the calendar jumped almost 2 years ahead to September 2024. And if you're keeping track, that is less than a year ago from right now, right? According to Special Agent Cerciello, that weekend involved multiple hotel bookings in New York City at the Trump International and another at the Whitby. The names attached to those reservations: Jane Doe, Diddy, someone named Robert, and an escort named, say it with me, Kabrale. Kabrale. But now I got a last name. And I've been waiting for a last name on this Kabrale fella, and they say it's Williams. So Kabrale Williams, not very Italian, but okay. This part of the chart didn't just map out movements, though. This part of the chart started mapping out the money, because if it's sex trafficking and if you're trying to show enterprise, you're probably going to have to show some payments and match it to the action. So Agent Cerciello showed the jury a spreadsheet of financial transactions tied to the trip. It was organized almost like a customer database, listing who stayed where and who paid for what and which accounts picked up the tab. That was what the government did, right? And there were like 3 key names on this part of the chart: Jonathan Perez, Jane Doe, and, say it with me, Kabrale Williams. Jonathan Perez, you'll remember, is one of Diddy's assistants and was connected to 2 hotel bills at the Trump International, both of which the government says were paid for using Diddy's American Express card. And to back that up, the jurors were shown the actual Amex statements.
Not the
Jane's travel
statement.
expenses, including cars and flights, those were covered by Jessica Ruiz. Do you remember that name? If you've been watching, if you've been listening, if you've been following all my coverage, you probably remember Jessica Ruiz is Diddy's corporate travel manager. Yeah. There was also a corporate entity labeled CEOPCO. So I'm calling it CEOPCO. And that, same Amex bill, it listed Bad Boy Entertainment as the payment maker. Bad Boy Inc. would be what the government considers the enterprise that Diddy was using to carry out what they say wasn't just illegal sex, but, coerced sex and drug dealing and drug use, all sorts of illegal stuff. That's what the government says. And then there was Kabrale the escort, whose flights on United Airlines were booked using Jane's own Visa card. But maybe the most eye-opening detail was a wire transfer. Just days after that New York City trip, Diddy wired Jane $5,000. And that transaction didn't happen in a vacuum. The jurors were shown.
Now, y'all remember, that's what their fee is. We heard last night they get paid $5,000. The normal fee is $2,000 for dancing, and when you get up in there and they ask for something extra to do something strange for a piece of change, yeah, it's $5,000. So the fine dude, Rico Suave, he got paid $5,000, and Diddy couldn't touch him. He couldn't record him. He what else he couldn't do? He minimized the art. Yeah, I need for y'all to double tap the screen on your phone. That's 145 people in here. Come on. Double tap your screen or hit your like button or go ahead and exit. Strange for change. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all listen, I got a sinus headache today, and I want to be really honest with you. Today ain't the day to play with me. I'm just gonna be honest. Go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the like button. Double tap your screen on your phone. Hit the thumbs up, the thumbs up on your tablet or your computer. So I won't have to just shut it down, because today I will just absolutely shut it down. Go to my backup page and let it run on Trump. Yeah, go ahead and leave. If you don't want to hit the like button, leave. Respectfully. But sternly. I mean it. Yeah, so their fee is 2,000, and it goes from 2 to 5 for extracurricular activity. And this is the second or third guy I've heard say that they hire them to dance, and then when you get there, okay, and when they get there, hi Paulette, and when they get there, they start saying, "Say, can I talk to you? Let me tell you what I need." Now you need me to dance. Oh no, Playboy, that ain't what I call you for. I kind of like to make my own porn. Yeah, and I guess from kind of what I got last night, the dancers know now. Now they know if somebody asks you to fill out, they got a special celebrity, and they want you to fill out that do non-disclosure, that is probably Diddy, cause Rico Suave. He said his homeboy tried to tell him who it was. Yeah, so they spreading the word around, man. Puff a freak. He a big old freak. He a nasty little tissero ass freak. You know. And it done got old. He done got shriveled up. Thing go to sleep. And the only way to get it up, only way he can get it up is if he see this extra long sausage. You know what I'm saying? So he get turned on. But he want your the icing. He want your icing. See, I'd be scared that they be using that somebody's what did I call it last night? Glazed icing, using it and storing it, and hell, you'll have 50 million people, babies coming up with your DNA because you done left your glazed icing at Puffy's spot. And hell, I just don't understand how all these people just done got so loose. You know, used to guys be taking a sack with them, with they icing in there. How you just gonna leave it for somebody to play like it's Play-Doh? But anyway, cause this Puffy's crazy, and I think these guys was way too trusting. Way too trusting. For 5K. No, shit, no. Fuck around 10, 20 years from now, they be saying this your baby. You ain't gonna be able to prove it ain't. Cause you done left your glazed icing there for Cassie and whoever else to play in it, rubbing it on his nipple, rubbing it on his pallywhacker so he can act like it came from him. Oh my God. This is way worse than the fetish. This man is sick in the head for real.
An email from Diddy's longtime employee, Robin Green, Visa card. Illegal sex, but, coerced sex and drug dealing and drug use. All sorts of illegal stuff. That's what the government says. And then there was Kabrale the escort, whose flights on United Airlines were booked using Jane's own Visa card. But maybe the most eye-opening detail was a wire transfer. Just days after that New York City trip, Diddy wired Jane $5,000. And that transaction didn't happen in a vacuum. The jurors were shown an email from Diddy's longtime employee, Robin Greenhill, the one who's been implicated in several earlier financial transactions.
That Black Dollar TV, did you not hear me when I said I got a headache, a sinus headache? nobody is debating if Cassie, Jane Doe, what's her name? Capricorn, Garcia, who else? What's his name? Brendan Paul. No one's denying that these people are not co-defendants. What are you talking about? Why are you discussing something that no one is debating? What are you talking about? We know they're co-conspirators. So what's your point? Are you saying co-dependent or co-conspirators? I mean, what are you trying to say? Because you trying to make a point that's pointless. No one's debating that. So what's your point? If we ain't debating that, what's your point? Oh. Black Dollar TV, are you black? Were you born within the last 10 years? Are you 10 years old? Because you may not need to be in here, because you asking questions like you 10 years old. You are repeating stuff that you have already had this debate and discussion on everybody's platform. But sir, I said last night, whoever is paying y'all $10, $20 an hour to go on people's pages who's talking about Diddy, I suggested last night that you ask them to write a different script for you, because what you talking about now is week 1 and week 2. We in week 6. So what you're saying don't make sense, right? Who's saying that they're not co-conspirators, not co-dependents? They need to rewrite your script for you. It's co-conspirator. We know that. So now what? And this, he's not the first person, first rapper, first black person to be a one-man Rico show. So where you been? You been locked up. You just got out. This your first job since you got out. Yes, you did you made statements. I mean, you misspelled some things. You said something about Cassie, a codependent. Then you said you said how is a question. When you put HOW, that's a question. Man, go back to school. You don't even know how is the question. You said how one person get a organized crime act. So yes, you did ask a question. Okay, so shh. They call it a co-conspirator on Rico. Rico is called a co-conspirator. She is, I'm going to say it for the last time, we are so past that. Nobody's not saying she's not a co-conspirator. None of the people everybody who was a part of Puffy's enterprise. Okay, hear me, Black Dollar TV. So when you go back to but you're not gonna take the truth with you. You think you tripping somebody up, and I'm not the one to trip up, boo, because I'm on top of mine. But let me say this. Okay, go on. For the people who wondering, who done been over somebody's staged platform, everybody, and I do mean everybody who has been on the witness stand thus far that worked for Diddy is a co-conspirator who has pleaded the fifth, got immunity, and turned to a witness. Everybody repeat after me. Everybody who has gotten on the stand thus far that worked for Diddy was a co-conspirator who turned a cooperating witness. So when they was gonna plead the fifth, they got offered immunity. They are now no longer a co-conspirator, leaving Diddy to be on the stand by himself. That's how we get to one person. Everybody turning their back because don't nobody want that time with Diddy. You know why they don't want that time with Diddy? Because they didn't realize at that time that he was using them and had pulled them, whether they knew it or not. Now they know. They know now. When the feds called him in there, or fall back. Fall back. Fall back. Fall back. If fall back means stop typing. Because when I see, I'm not going to let you plant no narrative or propaganda over here. I'm going to tell you that now. I will remove your comment. And if you keep on, I will remove you so that you won't have to come over here and trying to lie and spread no narrative over here. We are a no narrative lie spreading platform. So I'm sorry. That's why facts is in my name. I'm not gonna let you put no lies. So yeah, fall back, just chill and enjoy the show. Cause ain't nothing you gonna say that's gonna change what I already know. So since you threw it out there, I want everybody to understand. Everybody from the beginning, including Cassie, including the male hookers, including the guy, including the worker, Capricorn, everybody who has worked for Diddy, that has been on the stand, at the time they came through that door, they were co-conspirators. When they got on the stand and took a plea, they became cooperating witnesses, leaving him to carry this on his own. I told y'all the other day, I've been telling y'all, the higher ups backed up, took their hand off of him. He on his own. He on his own. Ain't nobody coming to save him. Yeah. What's his name? Ye has come a couple of times to the courtroom sitting there, but he ain't getting his ass on no stand. He ain't gonna get up there and say not a goddamn thing. Cause he took somebody's cookies in the studio at Puffy's studio. So he trying to get a feel of what they doing for him, which is smart. It's smart. I mean, y'all often hear me bring up Boosie, cause Boosie got it. Boosie got it before any of y'all got it. Who want to keep saying they ain't got no evidence. Boosie got it. He said it's what we've been doing. We call them freak hoes. Y'all can call them whatever y'all want to. But right now, the feds is calling it RICO. They don't care what y'all call them. One person call it hotel night. Somebody call it freak offs. What Boosie Bash, he calls it freak house. Everybody call it what they want to call it. The feds call it RICO. So when Boosie said, smartest thing I heard him say, well, he's smart, I'm saying, about this. He said, y'all don't get it. They finna get us on the back end. And he is absolutely correct. So you can play dumb, you can play whatever, you can say being a freak ain't against the law, you can say whatever you want to. They gonna hem that ass up and you are gonna be facing life. So you may want, and you don't have to agree with the law. The law ain't never asked you how you feel. Because Boosie said, man, we call that a freak hoe. Yeah, that's what you call it. That's what you call it. But they call it Rico. Whether you think that's what that is or not. So again, before y'all have y'all next little freak off hotel thing, after party, red room, whatever y'all call it, you may want to check your state and see if you know, if it's 5 to 10 years, 2 to 3, 6 months, whatever. See if that cat hot dog gonna be worth that time for you. But I suggest you know what you're getting into before you get into it. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, let's go. These were yeah. You know, let me tell you something, Timmy. Let's just be honest, cause you know, I don't know. Again, I understand why a lot of people are locked up. I really do, because my culture act like y'all don't understand the law. Whatever y'all think it is, it may be that. That is what the streets call it. Yes. So let me say this. Let me put it this way. Maybe it'll help your understanding. Cause you know that there are a lot of streetwalkers, hookers who proud of what they do, right? They shit, I don't care. They be like, shit, I'm gonna go make this money, right? They willing, they go out there, they proudly, you know, go hustle. They say, I'm just gonna hustle up on my light bill, whatever. Right? So they willing, they know exactly what they getting into. But guess what? It's still illegal. Willing participants, right? Willing participants, but it's still illegal. And if you get caught, what happens? Huh? Do the guy that's in there with them that just gave them that money, knowing good and dang well what she is, they willing participants, right? But they pay for that cookie. Guess what? And if it's a raid, why he in there cookie? Oh, just munching. Cookie monster. And they raid. Guess what? Be honest. What's your name? I'm checking your integrity, Timmy Diamond. I just gave a scenario. Guess what? I want you to tell me what's gonna happen when somebody will go in there willingly, and pay a streetwalker, a hooker, for that cookie. You done been getting that cookie from this same chick all the time, and they pull a raid, and they go in there and shake that little motel, what they call it, it's a hotel, them 10 for 2 or 2 for 10 or 10, I don't know. What they call it if they do a raid? Timmy. And they willing. I'm talking to Timmy. He threw it out there. I'm finna check your integrity. I'm finna see if you gonna move the goalposts or if you gonna keep it real when I just gave you a scenario where a freak was willing. It's still illegal. Yeah, y'all don't want it's solicitation prostitution. That's what that is. I'm just giving you a scenario of how it goes down. Y'all keep talking about they were willing participant. The male workers, the male hookers. Is it the same with the male hookers? The escorts that started out being a stripper and before they left they was prostitutes? Does the same willing? Are they still willing? Because is that not illegal? That's what I'm saying. Whether y'all like it or not, whether y'all been doing it or not for years, it's still illegal. And because trafficking has taken on another height, everybody getting clear. It's all illegal, period. That's all I'm saying. So we got to stop playing. We got to be smart. We got to be smart. There's a lot of people being trafficked. And how it's looking, a lot of them are going through. Cause listen, let me say this, and I'm gonna go on back over to old girl. He just the surface. And what y'all fail to realize, the real heavy duty trafficking through this hip hop rap community, they ain't touched that yet. The little kids, the young teenagers, they ain't touched that yet. See, it must didn't go down in New York like it was going down in Cali, in Miami. Okay? So this is just phase one. This the first go round. This ain't the last time we gonna see Diddy going in there for some trafficking. Let's be real. But it's a whole industry with the hip hop rap culture with this trafficking shit. So stop playing with ourselves. Stop playing with ourselves. This shit is for real. And Diddy know it. That's why Ira trying to get his ass up out of there. His name gonna swing back around again. His name, this is why Suge Knight is trying to get Diddy to go ahead and pull the big people on down with us. Come on, Diddy. We can change this around. He want Diddy. He's saying we can use this as a tool. Have y'all not been paying attention? Y'all been caught up in oh yeah, she was willing and this. Y'all missing the big Russell Simmons. Y'all missing the big picture. So this is why Suge Knight said I don't even like him. We ain't cool. We ain't cool. But he don't need to go down by himself. He needs to pull everybody. He's saying get them white people, get them Jews, get them people who was already doing this shit. Get the people who did it to you, the ones who don't die that went on. You pull all that. You tell all of them. Don't so that we can. That's the only way. That's what Suge Knight said. This is the only way that we gonna stop it. That's the only way. Because if not, he gonna go down by himself and it's gonna continue to go on. And they gonna get away with it. This is what Suge is throwing out there to Diddy. Y'all better stay woke. Yeah. He's saying he need to get on the stand and tell it. Tell his story. Because he's not the only one. It's been going on before him. And he needs to bring them all with him. He said, I ain't saying he didn't do what he's been accused of. I'm just saying he ain't the only one. I dig that. Now that I can dig. I can dig that. And he's absolutely correct. Diddy gonna be gone, probably for life. Because again, by the time he gets to California and New York, say he get 15, 20 years. By the time they hit Rico in Miami, and by the time they hit one in California, at the end of it all, he gonna be in there for life. Because he would have been convicted of it in different states. They're going to try to not get it admitted. But because he moves across state lines, it's going to be admissible. Y'all better stay woke. And he going to be in there for life. And the Jay-Z's and the Kanye probably on his way. And Heavy D, not Heavy D, Big Joe, he coming in there. Some of these actors, hell, it ain't gonna be no hip hop. This is how hip hop is gonna be eliminated. I bet to take the stand, but I bet the lawyers are now they're saying that they don't think they can keep him off the stand. But they already knew I don't like I don't like nobody who are predators. You know, he done peed in folk mouth before. I played that for the T-Sippers, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago? And back in the day, and he was a bad boy. And let's just keep it real. There's some females that's gonna get caught up in it. If how did everybody that came in, I'm on a different device. You know, and I like Mary. I like Mary, but hell, Mary played with them little boys. Left Eye. What's her name? Chili. You know, he was a minor. Some them females was playing with the minors. The men back broke them, and then the females came and put that thing on them. Jada, I don't know about her. That guy was an adult. He wasn't no kid, Carisha. You know, so I'm just saying. Them little young boys, them older women broke him in. You ask Usher who was his first, who broke him in, who did he get his first piece from? Yeah, she was an adult. What's that other lady? What's his name? Suge Knight gave off on her with yeah, Suge. Okay, so let me finish playing this. Yes, and Will may have been one. You know, I knew they were swingers, and that Augusta, what's his name? He wasn't no minor. He was not a minor. It was her. Hey Leo, you got your eye on there? So I'm just saying, stay woke. Y'all think I be trying to be mean? I really not. I'm trying to. I'm trying to hip y'all to how they coming. They done switched the game up on y'all, and they know good and dang well that y'all not gonna go and do no research. And ignorance of the law is no excuse. So, you know, I know what the streets call it, but the feds don't call it what the streets call it. Let's go. And this man right here, Diddy, he can play. He playing for y'all. He acting for y'all. Diddy know he out of here. Diddy defense team knew that they didn't have nothing. How do you defend it? How do you defend it? Let's just keep it real. And defend it and be confident in being cross-examined. See, the only way that you can have all of this out there like that, and you can fake the fuck like you wasn't doing nothing wrong. Did he know he was doing stuff wrong? That's why he wanted you to do this, you to call, you know, the way he was handing out stuff to do, because he didn't want his hands on nothing. He thought that was going to be the easy way out. But I don't know why he thought like that, because they done changed them laws a long time ago. And anytime if it's a group of y'all, a cluster of y'all, everybody get the same charge. They've been doing that for a while, right? So whether he touched it or not, if you was a part of it, you was in the car, you was the lookout, whatever, all y'all getting the same charge. So I don't know why he thought that just because he didn't touch it, that he wouldn't. This is your shit. This your company. It ain't their company. They just workers. Yeah, he got a whole bunch of them that are good at different little tactics. Like whoever this is, who somebody sneezed, they say, Miss Traff, his sneeze was a clue. So, you really liked it, huh? No, at first I didn't. But hell, after a while, you know, I don't understand it, but you can't defend it. You cannot defend this stuff. And then setting yourself up to be cross-examined. And you already got a bad attitude. And you already don't like no. You already have you can't stand nobody making you look like a fool, and you don't want nobody to know your truth. So get on the witness stand for what? Yeah, it don't make sense. Only an arrogant person who think that they are smarter than everybody will try that. But it's too much evidence. Although he thought he was smart, he left a whole bunch of paper trail. Just like the guy we talked to last night, we saw last night, T-Sippers. Diddy went, before he was in disguise. Hell, he had got so comfortable in it. He was doing it so much. The word was already on the street. They was running him through cowboys and Indians and shit, whatever the organization was. So they already knew if somebody asked you, you finna hit the jackpot if you have to sign a non-disclosure, because that's Diddy. Everybody already knew that. Just play dumb, man. Act like you don't know who he is. Make him dance around for you. You know, that's what they was doing to him. Everybody know. Won't stop, can't stop. He a bad boy for life. Yeah, ain't no good. How do you defend that? And when I heard old boy last night say he was subpoenaed, they just didn't use him, but he was subpoenaed. And one of the other guys was saying, well, how they get your name? What? So he got people that's sitting in the cut. You know, like I got all them people that's sitting up in the bushes and shit. Don't want me to know who in them bushes. Hell, Diddy got folk in the bushes. Already been subpoenaed. Then I already talked to the Fed. He don't even know it. You understand? So how you gonna defend that? You can't defend that and not be ready, confidently ready to be cross-examined. Oh, he convicted. He convicted. Let's go. Yeah, shit. He get on that witness stand. I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna have me some popcorn. Hell, I ain't had a drink in a while. Baby, I may have a drink to be all giggly, laughing my ass off. Because that's what I'm going to do if he get his ass on that stand. Lying. And there's already a paper trail. I'm going to laugh my ass off. He going to say, I didn't blow that man car. Did you threaten? Did you tell Cassie that you was going to blow his car up? And you want his friends to see it? Yeah, I said, but it wasn't no evidence. Okay, was you on his property? Cause the detective ran your plates, and one of your cars was on this man's property while his shit was burning up. But it wasn't me. So you have an enterprise, right, sir? You have goons, you have bodyguards, you send people to go get women when they try to leave. So that you send somebody? Cause that's how the mob used to do back in the day. That's gangster, ain't it? Ain't that gangster, Mr. Combs? Ooh, so are you a mob? Are you a part of the mafia? That's back in the Racketerring time. Ain't that show is gangster. So you send somebody to do your dirty work for you. Oh, okay, I understand. Cause you the boss, right, Mr. Combs? This your kingdom, right? They here to do whatever it is to make you happy. I've heard several people say their job was to make sure you was happy. So if you tell them to go blow that, go throw some shit in there and blow it up so the whole world can see, they would do that for you. Is that correct, Mr. Combs? Yeah, he wouldn't be able to. He couldn't handle me. I know good and damn well they wouldn't be able to handle Mr. So when you found out that Capricorn used to be a part of death row, yeah, that you was a little worried, wasn't you? You had to look at her with your side eye, right? I call that looking at somebody with my side eye. You look at people sometimes with your side eye, Mr. Calm, like, yeah, what you up to? What you up to? Did they send you? Are you here to set me up? Is that the vibe that you got from Capricorn, sir? Yeah, that's how I'd handle him. Yeah, so you arranged for, Mr. Pilot. Oh, big boy Pilot. He was sitting there like he was a old gangster. That sure was OG style. When I heard that, Mr. Combs, I could visualize that. That was back in the day. Yeah, that was gangster. That was mob style. He's sitting there, with a little lamp. No shade on it, pull a little string down, give her a lie detector, try to make her be uncomfortable because and you made her go through. You asked them same question 5, 6 different 10 times all day for 5 days. Did you pay her, sir? Those days that you had her there while she was sitting there taking that lie detector test for 5 damn days in a old abandoned basement and it's hot as hell. Did you feed her? I mean, did she clock out? I mean, did she have bathroom breaks? This is the corporation, right, Mr. Combs? Right, Mr. Combs? Do they get hour lunches, 30-minute lunches? What's the schedule? What is your employee's schedule? Workforce. What's forced labor? And then you had her there. And what was going to be the outcome, sir, if you found out that, maybe she was a mole. Maybe the jewelry was missing and maybe she was just so nervous and she failed. What was gonna happen to her? Was you really gonna put her in the West River? Did you tell her that? So you threatened her like that, Mr. Combs? Oh, you didn't do it. Polly did. Oh, he did it for you. So he was the mouth for you. Well, where did he get those orders from? Because I thought you was the boss, Mr. Sean. Yeah. I wonder why you didn't ever call yourself a bossy, what's his name? Bossy Diddy, big boss. Yeah, because you the boss, right? Yeah. You had this whole enterprise. They was there to do everything for you however you wanted. You told old boy to quit his girlfriend. You no longer have a girlfriend because you're not going to have time for her. Yeah. All that for $50K. Damn it. He out of here. He out of here. I wish I could, baby, I wish I was on that chair, one of them chairs. I would wear his monkey ass out. Okay? Okay, I will wear him out. But let's listen, because I think I heard something she said. I said, oh yeah, it's definitely a wrap. Okay, let's go.
Illegal sex, but, coerced sex and is Diddy's.
We just went to court. How did I do, y'all? How did I do? How did I do it as in court? How did I do? Did I trip? Would I have tripped him up, y'all? I just want to know, how did I do? Attorney fee. Attorney fee. How did I do? I'd have wore him out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and when you found out that she was, because you said that they get good. Oh, you said we found out last night when you was talking to Enrique Suave. You liked that boy because that girl asked him, are you okay with a threesome? Woo, he wanted to rub his hands all over your chest. You liked Enrique Suave. But you told him, because when old girl was doing her, she was giving her best hit. She was, neck work. You gotta work that neck. And you was like, Enrique Suave was like, God damn. And he was like, yeah, she one of the best. She one of my best lines. What he call her? Yeah, like that, his crew, whatever he call it. And old girl like, team. she one of the best on the team. That's what he said in front of her. Hell, she act like that was the first time she realized that she was on the squad. She didn't know she was on the squad, y'all. She didn't know. Yeah. She didn't know until she was working her neck. Okay? And he was like, God damn. I mean, he had the crippled hands and he was having all type of spasms and shit. And he was like, God damn. And Diddy over there playing with himself, saying, yeah, she the one of the best on the team. And old girl said, team? Team? Oh, you thought you was the only one? So he told off on himself last night. He got a whole team. So were they girlfriend, boyfriend? I've been trying to tell y'all that they found out late in the game. So, I mean, you know, he got his whole basketball squad net game. Black Dollar ain't no good, Emma. Oh, she stopped me. She stopped. She was going to work, and then she was like, "Oh, team." Bye, Michael Stanley. Don't keep asking me nothing now. If you don't like it, just go ahead and leave. I won't be offended. Trust me, I won't. Yeah. So now he admitted to old boy who had been subpoenaed that I'm sure he did not realize had been subpoenaed. You put the question on a super chat, a super sticker, if you want me to answer anything. How about that? So because you too demanding and you ain't supported my platform, I'm gonna put you in time out for about 30 minutes to let you think about it. And whatever questions you come with after that, put it on the super chat super sticker. Don't be trying to force me to do nothing. You sound like you Diddy. You sounding Diddy. You sounding Diddy. I'm looking at you with my side eye. You don't like my line of questioning? I don't suggest you get your ass up on that witness stand, because they gonna eat that ass up. If you getting offended with what I'm saying, talking about why it's something funny, because it's funny. And when they find your ass guilty, I'ma laugh about it. And when they take your ass to Miami and hit you with a RICO, and you gonna be not again, I'ma laugh. And then when they hit your ass in California and probably in Texas, cause one of them girls you playing with, she said you and Yellow Beezy got a little trap house or some type of house that y'all are housing minors and adults and females, and you be having shit like that, trafficking stuff going on in Texas. You and Yellow Beezy. She said that she went over there and danced at that house and there was minors. So yeah, don't ask me what I'm laughing at. You better be trying to find out how you gonna survive in prison for the rest of your life. Okay? Yeah. Now don't ask me no more questions. Like I said, put it on super chat, super sticker. Yeah. So he may be coming to a trial in Texas near you. Cause baby, what's her last name? English. She damn sure says she know for a fact that Yellow Beezy and Diddy got a little house situation. Yeah. In Texas. But carry on. Carry on. Is it on a commercial?
Does your internet bill keep getting higher? That's because promo pricing is full of...
Y'all hit the like button.
Corporate travel manager.
Let me back that up.
There was also
Now I done
a
paused
entity.
and my likes didn't go up. Next
Jonathan
time I
Perez,
have
remember, is
to
one
hit the
of the
like button. I
assistants.
told you I don't feel good. Now I ain't gonna act like I didn't laugh. Damn. Now yeah, she put yellow out there. She put yellow out there. And then here I go again. Oh, so more 3. I told y'all, I've been telling y'all for 5 years now, the shit is all full circle. It's all full circle. She said she met him at one of the Miami, Puffy's parties. And she was asked to go, invited to go to Dallas. She said Oak Cliff, if memory serves me correctly. Or did she just say Dallas? Yeah. And there were minors there. Yeah. And then that reminded me, he did have some SA charges. What's the other guy that just got shot in the head? He got them type of charges. He would fool with them kids by the school in Fort Worth. Beto. Yeah. It's all full circle, baby. Until you see the play Jay-Z made by getting YOGOTTI. Oh, yeah. So you knew over here. I done already exposed that. He marked it. I was the first one to put that out there like that. When he marked that and took that picture, he had that LV jacket on. And at the bottom, he put cocaine music. And he marked it for the feds where the cocaine was. Well, cocaine. And then next thing you know, they was on Malcolm X 3-4 times in 1 week. That people in South Dallas said they ain't never seen a raid like that. Toe up post South Dallas real bad. And they've been hot ever since. And they hit the cliff. Trying to get them traps either wherever yelling them had that hoe house or whatever. Trafficking house. Yeah, that's why. And that's when they found that what is it called? Murder for hire list. Yeah, I'm on it. I ain't new to it, I'm true to it. So some of this stuff that these people be running over there talking to y'all about, they been in my bushes. They some of these 202 people, 213 people that's in my bushes. Or they go through my archives because it's all in there. Yeah, JJ. Yeah. What's JJ last name? Yeah. And what's Straight Drop last name? And when he went, I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's go, y'all. Hi, Scarlett.
It was connected to 2 hotel bills at the Trump International.
Hold on. Let me go back because this lady got some good stuff up in here. This also covering how he can have more than one hotel at the same time. People like, how can you be at 2 places at the same time? Cause you using a bogus name, and hell, you got KK and AA and DJ and all these people making these different hotel rooms. And one of your assistants said that you not only booked hotels for you and your freaks, but hell, you and some of your homies freaks at the same time. And so they go through you for the travel and the booking. Okay, and what was the guy house who got raided when they found those hit lists, the crocodile and all of that stuff at the big house? What was his last name? That JJ guy. That got, yeah, that's up for murder for hire on the Mo 3. Y'all put all Christians on a super chat, a super sticker. If you want my facts or my wisdom, put it on a super chat, super sticker, or send a cash app. Support the platform. Or go in my archives, because all of what you asking I've already discussed. So support my platform. Stop asking me questions for free. Let's go.
There. And who paid for what, and which accounts picked up the tab. That was what the government did, right? And there were like 3 key names on this part of the chart. Jonathan Perez, Jane Doe, and, say it with me, Kabrale Williams. Jonathan Perez, you'll remember, is one of
Hey,
Diddy's
Travis.
assistants and was connected to 2 hotel bills at the Trump International, both of which the
Travis, you better tell him I'll shut it down.
government says were paid for using Diddy's
Hey.
American Express card. And to
Hi,
back that
Barry.
up, the jurors
Beto,
were shown
yep.
the actual Amex statements. Jane's travel expenses, including cars and flights, those were covered by Jessica Ruiz. Do you remember that name? If you've been watching, if you've been listening, if you've been following all my coverage, you probably remember Jessica Ruiz is Diddy's corporate travel manager. Yeah. There was also a corporate entity labeled CEOPCO. So I'm calling it CEOPCO. And that, same Amex bill, it listed Bad Boy Entertainment as the payment maker.
Look at you. You're doing everything you can to get your blood pressure in check. And now you have Super Beats Heart Chews by Human on your side too. In a leading clinical study,
Bad Boy Inc. would be what the government considers the enterprise that Diddy was using to carry out what they say wasn't just illegal sex, but, coerced sex and drug dealing and drug use. All sorts of illegal stuff. That's what the government says. And then there was Kabrale the escort, whose flights on United Airlines were booked using Jane's own Visa card. But maybe the most eye-opening detail was a wire transfer. Just days after that New York City trip, Diddy wired Jane $5,000. And that transaction didn't happen in a vacuum. The jurors were shown an email from Diddy's longtime employee, Robin Greenhill, the one who's been implicated in several earlier financial transactions, that she appeared to be coordinating or facilitating the money transfer. And again, it's not just about who flew where or who paid for what dinner. It's about proving that Diddy used the machinery of his business, his money, his assistants, his credit cards, his wire transfers, his company expense accounts, and his staff to fund and to enable or to cover up illegal conduct. And if he's sending Cassie $5,000, or if he's sending Jane $5,000, or if he's sending anybody $5,000 after what the government says is a bunch of illegal sex and drug activity, maybe it's to reimburse the sex worker or to pay for the drugs. Little hard to prove that unless you've got all these receipts, but that's what they're building here, right? So this is what RICO is all about. And this spreadsheet, it was not just an accounting tool, it was a blueprint. And it's one more thread that the prosecution hopes will tighten the net around Sean Diddy Combs. And next up,
Bye, Mr. Petty.
Special Agent Cerciello introduced yet another chart.
Yeah.
A sprawling
Bye.
timeline of
I'm finna start
text
removing
messages,
y'all.
financials,
I'm gonna say it
fiscal
one more
records from
time.
December
Ask me questions on a super
2021 to
chat,
June of
a super sticker,
2024.
or don't put
Nearly
no questions in my
3
comment
full
section.
years of curated communications.
And if you don't
First
like me
section of
talking,
the screen
leave.
was a familiar
Or
one to us.
I
because it focused on that
will
same
remove you.
weekend in September of 2023, the New York trip
What's your name,
to the-
Petey?
to the Trump Hotel and the Whitby hotels, those guys. Most of this one, the jury had already seen, but a few moments still landed pretty hard. Like the text message that Jane sent to Diddy that very weekend. Are you ready? Because this is what the government wants to hammer home to this jury. Quote, I don't want to be used and locked in a room to perform and fulfill your fantasies. And
What y'all just hear her say? Did y'all hear her? Did y'all hear that with y'all good ear? For the ones who we worried about, for the ones of y'all who be saying that they like it or they could have left. Did y'all just hear her? Somebody had a comment in there, because it's not whether. Oh, y'all kill me. So y'all just so somebody can be whether they liked it or not. It still don't mean that they wasn't groomed to traffic. But did y'all just hear what she said? Cause somebody gonna come back and ask me something, and she just dropped some gems, baby.
Still landed pretty hard. Like the text message
Thank you,
that
Jay
James
Castro.
sent to Diddy that very weekend. Are you ready? Because this is what the government wants to hammer home to
Are
the
you
jury.
ready?
Quote, I don't want to be used and locked in a room to perform and fulfill your fantasies, end quote. And Diddy's response? Instead of denying it, he doubled down, referencing some.
So did she want to do it? That's why we keep evidence to get out of cults. She just said, I don't want to be used and locked. Locked. Now this is about the second or third time she said something about I'm in here in the dark in this hotel while you off with whoever, Gina or whoever, whatever. She couldn't leave. Did y'all just hear that? This was the text that she was having with Diddy. She said, I don't want to be used
and fulfill your fantasies.
So for the people who saying, I don't know about Gina, you know, she kind of wanted it. She liked it. Yes, the majority of the time she did. But at the very time that they are talking, so he can't act like he didn't know how she felt. She didn't know. Her text said,
Be ready, because this is what the government wants to hammer home to this jury.
So he cannot act like she never told him, text him. He cannot act like he did not know. See, a lot of stuff, the people that y'all be listening to are not in the courtroom. And so some of the stuff y'all don't even know that's been exposed to the court or reviewed by the court. So y'all just going off on these whims talking about, I don't see Rico. Well, hell, you may not, because you don't know everything that the courtroom knows. But right here, what they talking about, this came out in court. Okay? And they are reading the text messages from old girl and Diddy. And she said, I don't want to be used by you. You got sick fantasy locked up in here and shit. He over there, she over here, and she locked up in there.
Quote, I don't want to be used and locked in a room to perform and fulfill your fantasies, end quote.
If they boyfriend, girlfriend, if it's consensual, why she locked up in there? What does locked in a room mean to y'all? What do you mean? I know Diddy getting paid. What do you mean? I don't know nothing. Well, that don't even make sense to me. History. No, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I know she's talking. He's having a conversation by way of text, and at that point right there, it's evident that time, that day, that moment, she was locked up, and she didn't want to do it. So my question is, what does locked mean? Locked is locked. No. Okay. I just for the people. You know, okay. Again, I'm gonna say I understand why my culture stays locked up in jail. I really do. It is evident. Yeah, locked up, and she said, I don't want to be used. So now I'm gonna say, now this may have been before, cause this must have been before she got her 10 grand a month for a nice place to stay, cause you know she didn't. Old girl didn't sign her love contract until 2023. So this must have been before 2023, cause why in the hell are you locked up? So I guess at some point she became, if I can't beat them, journal. Cause why were you locked up? And then now your rent's still being paid because you signed a love contract in 2023. But let's keep listening. But at this time, at this point right here, she was locked up. Let's go.
You ready? Because this is what the government wants to hammer home to this jury. Quote, I don't want to be used and locked in a room to perform and fulfill your fantasies.
You're the person with the gun. The person who would do anything.
Yeah, I don't know how that if so she's saying that she was locked in to perform. So she wasn't locked in just to hang out and kick it with Diddy. That's trafficking, y'all. That day right there, that incident right there, locked in to perform. That's trafficking.
To protect the ones you love. But did you know that you could go...
That right there is trafficking.
End quote. And Diddy's response? Instead of denying, forum and sent to Diddy that very weekend. Are you ready? Because this is what the government wants to hammer home to this jury. Quote, I don't want to be used and locked in a room to perform and fulfill your fantasies. End quote. And Diddy's response? Instead of denying it, he doubled down, referencing something he'd said on a podcast and trying to justify the behavior that Jane was calling out. The prosecutors are trying to show that Diddy's conduct wasn't isolated or impulsive, that it was deliberate, it was controlled, it was repeated over and over again, they say. But here's where the chart and the timeline took on a new kind of weight. Because when you lay everything out chronologically, patterns begin to emerge.
Absolutely.
And one detail in particular stood out like a flashing red light. Right around the time that Jane agreed to come to New York, when she and Diddy were texting back and forth about how the trip would go, whether they'd have a chill movie night or bring in an
Y'all, God, dog. I mean, I've always gotten the trafficking. I've always got it. I always understood it. I understood legally how they could get to it. But what she just said, if we just close our eyes and visualize it. Because everybody, or a lot of people was, they kept saying taking, people was talking about trafficking like on Taken. But even if we gonna visualize the movie Taken, when they took them, wherever they took them, they was locked up in a room to perform. So when she said that, it absolutely was trafficking. Now she made some arrangements afterwards, but that scenario, locked in a room to perform, not locked in the house, because the other situation, she kind of made it seem like she was just locked in the house in the dark, lonely, But this right here, she said locked to perform and fulfill your fantasy. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Entertainer, and Diddy suggesting maybe it'd be her choice. She could decide. Diddy at the very same time is having a very different conversation in parallel.
Hold on. Let me
prosecutors trying to show that Diddy's conduct wasn't isolated or impulsive, that it was deliberate, it was controlled, it was repeated over and over again, they say. But here's where the chart and the timeline took on a new kind of weight. Because when you lay everything out chronologically, patterns begin to emerge. And one detail in particular stood out like a flashing red light. right around the time that Jane agreed to come to New York, when she and Diddy were texting back and forth about how the trip would go, whether they'd have a chill movie night or bring in an entertainer, and Diddy suggesting maybe it'd be her choice, she could decide. Diddy at the very same time is having a very different conversation in parallel. Prosecutors showed that he was messaging with a woman named Bridget. Bridget was a booking agent and a manager for Cowboys and Angels, the upscale male escort agency.
Just so y'all
And while
know,
he's reassuring his
just so
girlfriend,
y'all know, the prosecution has rest. The prosecution have rest. I'll play this in a minute. Let's go. Are y'all? Hold on.
Prosecutors resting their case in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Jurors heard more than 6 weeks of testimony.
They got him back looking like a koala bear. Can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? And y'all give me a 1 if y'all can hear that other voice over here. I need. Can y'all hear that?
Breaking news, federal prosecutors arresting their case in the Sean Diddy Combs.
Can y'all hear that? And my buffer. Yeah, I must unfroze. I just put a poll, hit the poll. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Jurors heard more. Diddy Combs sex prosecutors resting their case in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Jurors heard more than 6 weeks of testimony from nearly 36 witnesses.
They got that koala bear look back up there, don't they?
Prosecutors resting their case in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Jurors heard more than 6 weeks of testimony from nearly 36 witnesses. Prosecutors argue their case proves that the music mogul ran a criminal enterprise using business to lure and traffic victims. Both sides have played recordings of the alleged sexual freak-offs, and the jury has seen nearly 45 minutes of those explicit videos. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges and denies any wrongdoing. I'm joined by Rena Roy, live outside the courthouse, also civil trial attorney.
Hey, Tito from the Grove.
Yeah, well, Kira, the prosecution rested just a short time ago, and we are hearing from our teams inside the courtroom that the defense just asked for an acquittal, asking the judge to immediately find Sean Combs not guilty of all the charges. A defense attorney saying, quote, the defense moves for a judgment of acquittal on all counts, saying that the government has failed to meet its burden. Now, as we know, the government's case has lasted more than 6 weeks. The jury has heard from 34 different witnesses over the course of 28 days. They have seen just really a mountain of evidence here, hundreds of exhibits over the last several weeks. Now, the prosecution's final witness got off the stand a short time ago. It was a summary witness, a Homeland Security special agent who sort of summarized the logistics, if you will, of those so-called freak-offs. The defense will soon present their case. No witnesses, just evidence will be admitted to the record. Of course, we are waiting to hear how the judge will rule on that acquittal request. And tomorrow, if things stick to the timeline that we are hearing, we will see a charging conference when both sides will argue how exactly they want to see the jury instructed on the law, Kira.
Hold on, let me see. Closing arguments with Vinny. Well, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, is a music mogul, producer, and entrepreneur.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. It's finna get real serious. Who is this? Let me see this.
We've taken our classic
the same
chicken
one?
sandwich to the next level with juicier, crispier, tastier chicken, crunchier pickles, and...
So they're going to go try to do it methodically and go through each evidence.
Where? Oh, girl. Here we are.
Meaning and all of that, it doesn't have.
I think there was a struggle, and I don't know instructions asking a lot of the same witnesses credibility episodes, and I mean, we have a question.
Where's Elizabeth?
So
I'm trying to find Elizabeth. Hold on. Let me finish the other lady and let me.
Said that there was a.
Oh, y'all. They don't have. Oh, Lord. And now that I'm hearing, oh, girl.
Room, and they see Diddy
talking about.
And they see him beating her, dragging her back in the direction of that room. They could say,
I don't want to hear about her.
Sex trafficking. You have a commercial sex act. Right?
Okay, let me finish with oh girl. Let me see what come out here while I try to see who else got what they got. Bear with me.
Sex workers were
ooh wee and ooh wee. They showing
what is a better example of.
We just heard. We just heard. Sex trafficking for real. Hold on. Let me go back to here while I keep looking.
Friend Jane, that they keep things low key, you know, he was open to whatever she wanted. He's actively trying to line up paid sex workers.
Oh yeah, y'all need to hear this.
Jane agreed to come to New York. Trying to show that Diddy's conduct wasn't isolated or impulsive, that it was deliberate, it was controlled, it was repeated over and over again, they say.
Baby,
but here's the start and the timeline.
just as listen, y'all, let me tell you what's funny. Just as soon as I said that they have arrested about 200 people hopped up out of here. Woo! Everybody finna go report about it now, y'all. They was in here, wasn't it? They was in here. Baby, they got that tea and shoo! And their asses didn't even hit the like button. Thank you, Kane Light, for supporting the platform. You see how they do? You see how they do?
Lay everything out chronologically.
Oh my God.
Patterns begin to emerge.
My people.
And one detail in particular stood out like a flashing red light. Right around the time that Jane agreed to come to New York, when she and Diddy were texting back and forth about how the trip would go, whether they'd have a chill movie night or bring in an entertainer, and Diddy suggesting maybe it'd be her choice, she could decide. Diddy at the very same time is having a very different conversation in parallel. Prosecutors showed that he was messaging with a woman named Bridget.
Rumors circulating online.
Bridget was a booking agent and a manager for Cowboys and Angels, the upscale male escort agency. And while he's reassuring his girlfriend Jane,
okay, yeah, I got another one for us to hear. Hit the like button.
Whatever.
Hit my like button. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, let me cut my volume up.
Against Diddy. Diddy's lawyer starts out by summary witness Joseph Cercillo gives his cross-examination testimony against Diddy. Diddy's lawyer starts out by asking, this exhibit, it shows expenses paid for Sean Combs. This is an account from QuickBooks. In abundance of caution, let's turn off the public screen. This account, it shows JetBlue, LA, agency fee, other...
Let me see something. Hold on.
2023. Yes, this message says we $151 for this date. Diddy's lawyer yells, objection beyond the scope. And they said Miss Garagos did it. And the judge calls for a sidebar. The government comes back and says, in this time frame, did you see any messages between Jane and Mr. Combs that were physical or affectionate in nature? No further questions. And now the prosecution has rested their case against Diddy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about.
Okay, so this is leading up to, okay, I just wanted to make sure that this was leading up to, we're gonna listen to how they ended. Let me run this back. Hold on. So this will be how they ended, how they rest. Let's go, let's listen.
Summary witness Joseph Cercillo gives his cross-examination testimony against Diddy. Diddy's lawyer starts out by asking, this exhibit, it shows expenses paid for Sean Combs. This is an account from QuickBooks. In abundance of caution, let's turn off the public screen. This account, it shows JetBlue, LA,
yeah, QuickBooks, they went back, didn't they?
AR receipt Sean Combs. Do you see that? Yes. They're saying that these expenses are showing that they are for Sean Combs and not through his business. Let's look at this exhibit. JFK to LAX, account of Jessica Ruse.
So hold on.
Right.
So right there, he using his business and his personal for the same things. So he's lumping business and pleasure. So yeah, but we already know he don't even have HR, so it ain't no business. Let's go.
This is an account from QuickBooks. In abundance of caution, let's turn off the public screen. This account, it shows JetBlue, LA, agency fee, other, AR receipt Sean Combs. Do you see that? Yes. And they're saying that these expenses are showing that they are for Sean Combs and not through his business. Let's look at this exhibit. JFK to LAX, account of Jessica Ruse. Is this right? Right. When you did the chart, you saw only the Amex records? I saw what was presented to me. This is another chart that you reviewed. Let's go to Exhibit 15, row 39. You listed the lawsuit, Cassandra Ventura versus Sean Combs, and Combs' IG Live video. Did you see this month-to-month lease in James' true name? Have you ever seen this exhibit? I have not. Here we saw Mr. Combs saying, damn, wish you were here, right? Yes. In this exhibit, Jane writes, I'm hot for you. Put it deep in me. These next two pages are not in your chart, are they? No, I don't think so. Then Jane writes, having wine, miss you. That's not included? It's not. Here in this exhibit, she writes, I have some here, but mostly black dominatrix style, right? Yes. These next exhibits are between Jane and Kabrale. Jane writes, I might have some time off. Then Jane writes, hey cutie, how are you? And he writes back, just got back from cooking for a brunch. I'm one of a kind, baby. She writes back, LOL, these pics. Okay if I fly you out? I'm so hot, I need you. I'm touching myself right now. Is that right? Yes. The messages you reviewed omitted emojis, right? I'm not sure. Jane writes, see you soon with the kiss face emoji and then heart eye emojis. Kabrale writes, me too, also with emojis, right? Yes. Do you see the metadata on this exhibit? Yes. Test your headphones to make sure they work. And then they start playing freak off videos. In this exhibit, Jane messages Kabrale. What does he respond? He texts, I'm just chilling in Houston, waiting for my flight. Jane writes, want to come to Miami? I have a small free window with an emoji. And then she says, oh Sly, thank you for making me feel so beautiful. He writes, you called me by my government name. I said, whoa, things are getting personal now. Then Jane responds saying, I'm traveling. Maybe you can come too. PCR test needed. And then she says, wait, you have a passport, right? Oh, then don't worry about the PCR test. These lawyers start out by pulling up an exhibit from December 21st of 2021 of Jane, Diddy, Don, and Kabrale. And these exhibits are freak-off videos being played for the jury. Then Diddy's lawyer says, what does Jane say here? She writes, that was so effing sexy. And then she writes, I'm wet thinking about it. Heart eye emoji. Now Paul is in the chat. But your chart doesn't list Kabrale's message with Jane. Now it's December 21st of 2021 and she reaches out to Kabrale to say Happy New Year's. And she writes, let me know if you want to come tonight. What does Kabrale say? He says, I'm cooking for my family, but tomorrow for sure. And
hold up, Black Dollar TV. Do I need who? I missed it. You said there's my Texas Connect out of Houston. Which name? Who is the Texas Connect? Let me back that thing up. I was over here doing something, listening, but who is a Houston Connect?
Happy New Year's. And she writes, let me know if you want to come tonight. What does Kabrale say? He says, I'm cooking for my family, but tomorrow for sure. And this is not in your chart?
He got a family? I hope he talking about his mama and daddy, sister and brother, not a wife and kids. How healthy, joyful life? Oh, Lord, family.
No. Let's pull up this exhibit. This is from April 4th of 2022. Combs texting Jane. You read Mr. Combs. Mr. Combs writes, I have been having crazy fantasies about Leo. You and Leo. And these are Diddy's text messages, texting this to Jane saying, I've been having crazy fantasies about Leo. And then he says, you and Leo, LOL. And then he writes, Adderall is the greatest, LOL. And then she writes to him with a drool face emoji. And he writes, Adderall is the greatest, LOL. And then she writes to him with a drool face emoji. Let's look at this exhibit. It's in July of 2022. You only reviewed what the government gave you, right? Right. Mr. Combs tells Paul to come over. Yes. And here Jane says, my place is free tonight. Then she writes, I got on my knees and thanked God for the health of my child and for your friendship. Then a heart emoji, right? Right. Exhibit GX103. It's between Jane and Paul, correct? I don't memorize the exhibit numbers. Let's show it. This is a message between Paul Arthur and Mr. Combs, who says staff is leaving. This is the first mention of Anton, right? On October 8th of 2022? Yes. And then he shows up. And these photos, do you see the bracelet that Jane is wearing? I do. This exhibit, Jane writes, can you come to Turks? What does he say? He says, yes, love.
Adderall,
I have a passport, but
no
not
legal
vaccination. Then she said, can you get to the ATL? A few days later, March 21st of 2023, she asked about Miami. Jane then writes, tonight was fun. What did he say? He says, had a great time with you, baby. Now, April of 2023. Jane, Mr. Combs, and Paul. He says, hey, Jane, I'm available. And she asked about the 19th? Yes. Jane says, I'll reach out. How about P? Italian is available. What does Combs respond? Combs says, okay, you find location. You in the mood? Jane says, didn't know you were unsatisfied. I stopped and got a couple more outfits. Then Jane writes, I know what you like, Daddy. At the London, before you left for New York, you did a film. You forgot it. You promised you wouldn't forget. Then a smirk face, devil face. I'm coming, Daddy. That video you sent me was hot. Sweat emoji.
Please don't make me remove you. Who have thought it? For 20 minutes, I just ran it back over and over and over. So if you didn't hear it, then go ahead and leave for me, okay? Okay? Who have thought it? Whatever that means. I'm talking to you. Since you say you haven't heard any laws broken yet, go ahead and leave. Because we done beat that with a baseball bat already. Black Dollar TV came in the same way. He has a whole different tune now. So go ahead and leave. Because I'm not going to allow you to keep putting the same message in there over and over and over again. Then rewind it. Rewind it a little, maybe about 10, 15, 20 minutes. And when you hear her say she was locked, yeah. Wait, right when she said, because I replayed it about 4 or 5 times back to back. Rosa, yeah. We done heard it. I mean, I give it every day. Every day I give y'all something, but we just heard it 4, 5, 6 times over and over and over. And y'all, can y'all, yeah, Maurice, leave, please. Oh,
Let's
okay.
go back to this exhibit.
Yeah.
You find location. You in the mood? Jane says, didn't know you were unsatisfied. I stopped and got a couple more outfits. Then Jane writes, I know what you like, Daddy. At the London, before you left for New York, you did a film. You forgot it. You promised you wouldn't forget. Then a smirk face, devil face. I'm coming, Daddy. That video you sent me was hot. Sweat emoji. Let's go back to this exhibit. May 19th through the 20th.
Right, Maurice. We serious
Jane,
over here.
Mr. Combs, Paul, and Kabrale. What does Mr. Combs write? He writes, is the chef still there? She says, no, LOL. Pull up the text of the personal assistants. Christina Korm writes, for hotel, they want fruit, outfits, shorts for him, size large, fruits, and juices. She writes, are you hydrated? I'll be at one hotel, residential side. Hey, hun, had a great time. Do you see that? Yes. Here, in this exhibit, Jane writes to Mr. Combs, I love you, can't wait to see you, with heart emojis. But now she writes, let's be positive. Remember how we turned it around at 1 star, right? Right. He says, you got chef? Jane says, no. Jane says, you know I was trying for my chefy poo. Jane writes, are you up to coming to LA? How much would it be to compensate for a missing chef gig? He responds, sorry, love. I could have did it if there was enough heads up. Then Mr. Combs writes, hurry up. She's at the hotel. She is hot as hell. Need help, LOL. And Paul responds, LOL, right? Right. And then Mr. Combs sends Paul an image. Does it look like Shaq? Yes. And then the judge asks for a sidebar. Diddy's lawyer pulls up another exhibit and says, Mr. Combs writes to Paul, security knows to let you in the back, right? Then Combs says, just say P, not Paul. And Jane writes, just to tell you I love you, listening to your music, making love with you, partay, rosé, whatever we're saying. This exhibit, on August 12th of 2023, Mr. Combs writes, movie night was off the chain. Jane says, so we'll try something new tonight? And he says, call Italian. Jane responds saying, one hotel roof, good for drinks and light bites. Smiley face, kiss face, right? Right. And he says, baby, I'm stressed out. She says, I'm back to mommy mode. Now go to September 19th of 2023. I just want to highlight a few exhibits that I didn't think were in the chart. Combs writes, headed to ATL. Here, Mr. Combs writes, I can't even look, it'll drive me crazy. And then Jane writes, muy caliente, with a sweat face. That shit was different, all of it. And this was September 24th of 2023. Yes, this message says, we had a great day. Here, Jane writes, Daddy, want to see mommy be bad tonight, right? Slide that D in me at the restaurant. No water, emojis, yes? Right. Then she writes, I'm going to blow your mind tonight. Can't wait to lick your nipples. Right. Jane sends more emojis of drool, and then she writes, it's hot in this hotel. Yeah, we need to run to the freak store. I didn't have time to do my nails. And Mr. Combs says, he writes, I effing love it. Let's just quickly look at this exhibit. This is just Jane and Mr. Combs.
Hi, Joyce.
On September 30th, Jane writes, I love you, baby. Have a great show. This I won't repeat here, and then the lawyer starts laughing. There is no location entries until February 8th of 2024. And Christina Korm asked Jonathan Perez, how does he look? You could put him in front of someone, but he just took a full bar, so I think he'll be asleep soon. Here in this exhibit, you have flight records for Jane going from LA to Miami. 5 days before Mr. Combs posts the IG video, right? Right. Now there's a phone call from Anton to Jane for 0 seconds. What does that mean? The clock starts at ringing, and Diddy's lawyer starts playing videos that still can't be seen to the public, and you hear on the audio, beautiful day like this, and a bass playing. That was June of 2024, right? Right. Let's play more video. Diddy's lawyer said, we're almost done. Please stop it here. Do you see the message from Jane? I have the best memories. I have just a few more questions to ask about the exhibit. Bring up this one. Do you see the account transfer of $22,000? Yes. In this exhibit, it was for Jane's transportation. Do you see that it was $151.99 for Jane and also Kabrale Williams, then $324.50 and $760.25? Let's go to this exhibit. Sean Combs' personal bank account records. Total due is $74,000. There's an account transfer to the LLC. Yes. Your Honor, can I have a moment? One more video and then we're done. The one that wasn't working this morning. Turn off the attorney's screens and then they play this video. You reviewed the metadata for this video? Which chart? That's a great question. Then Diddy's lawyer ends their cross by saying, "Thank you, agent. Please go back to keeping New York City safe." And she starts laughing. And then it gets redirected back to the government. The government says, "Did we see Sean Combs paying for the travel of Kabrale Williams from Atlanta to Florida across state lines?" Diddy's lawyer yells, "Objection. Do the charts represent every text message in this case?" No. Let's pull up this message before this date. Diddy's lawyer yells, "Objection, beyond the scope." And they said, "Miss Garagos did it." And the judge calls for a sidebar. The government comes back and says, "In this time frame, did you see any messages between Jane and Mr. Combs that were physical or affectionate in nature?" No. No further questions. And now the prosecution has rested their case against Diddy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
I don't know what they was getting from that. But was that a freak off or was she? She sounded like she was. Who you talking about, Mr. Ranger? Get a job. Who you talking about? Who you can't be talking about me. Oh, I have a job. So let me get you on up out of here. I have a job. I don't even know what the hell you talking about. Bye. Ugh. Okay. Let me get back over here. I done told these folk I don't do well with lies. Don't be lying on me. Okay, let's get back over here to her while I look and see what else. Oh, y'all, it's what's today? Tuesday? Wednesday, Thursday? Ooh-wee. Diddy ass. Oh, okay, let's go. I'm kind of scared for him now, y'all. I don't know why. Oh, Lord. It does not look good.
He's actively trying to line up paid sex workers for that. Bridget was a booking agent, back and forth about how the trip would go.
Oh, okay, right here. Because why? Okay, so what this lady over here talking about, and we just heard what was going on in court. This girl was talking like they was finna hook up, like she was, ooh baby, I can't wait. She thinking she finna get with Diddy, right? Cause I was thinking that was very affectionate, but that's not with a freak. That's not what that's her and Diddy, right? That's what I was hearing. Is that what y'all was getting from that? That she was thinking that she finna get with Diddy. She said she want his thing laying up in there, deep and hard. Yeah, so that wasn't for no freak off, was it? But let's listen here.
Whether they'd have a chill movie night or bring in an entertainer, and Diddy suggesting maybe it'd be her choice. She could decide. Diddy at the very same time is having a very different conversation in parallel. Prosecutors showed that he was messaging with a woman named Bridget. Bridget was a booking agent and a manager for Cowboys and Angels, the upscale male escort agency. And while he's reassuring his girlfriend, Jane, that they'd keep things low-key, he was open to whatever she wanted, he's actively trying to line up paid sex workers for that visit. Just what Jane said in her testimony. I would say I want to chill, I just want to have loving time with you, and suddenly these male escorts would show up and the performance was on and would go for days.
Yep.
Right? So here are the receipts that show if you think she's lying on the stand, well, then what's this stuff? The conversations going on with Bridget, the booking agent at the male escort agency.
At the same
she's
time,
not
he
lying on the stand. How could she know that we had these receipts? Well, how could we have these receipts? Right?
So the whole time she
messages between
talking to
Diddy
him,
and Bridget,
Google,
you know, Bridget the escort lady, about payment for another escort. Bridget texted, "Good morning." The next day, she's gently noting that his payment is $600 shy of what it should be. And Diddy snapped back and texted, quote, "LOL, he couldn't even perform," end quote. Bridget reminded Diddy the fee was for the escort's time. Quote, "You could be skydiving or dancing with them," she said. "You're still paying for their time," end quote.
Did y'all hear that? I go another gym. Did y'all just hear that? Are y'all listening with y'all good ears, T-sippers? Cause remember yesterday they were saying that he was gonna rest. Did y'all hear that? He hadn't paid off his debt to how you put a hooker on layaway? Huh? How do you put a hooker on layaway? Why they do that?
Offended.
Hold on.
A long-time customer and deserves respect.
Hold on. That ain't why I was pausing it. But how you gonna put a hooker, dude? You some type of somebody. So you have an outstanding debt. And now remember, these people don't know that you gonna switch their contract up because he hired them to strip, right? To perform. What about some entertainment? You know, just come hang, you know, for their time. Because that's what they were saying that they was gonna use instead of having witnesses, because won't nobody come stand for Diddy. So he thinks that he's gonna be able to get away with these male hookers by saying he just paying for a little live entertainment. Hooked on layaway. But what did we just hear him say when the debt collector start calling about this outstanding debt? What did he say? Did y'all hear that with y'all good ear? Let me play it again.
Bridget, the escort lady, about payment for another escort. Bridget texted, "Good morning." The next day, she's gently noting that his payment is $600 shy of what it should be. And Diddy snapped back and texted, quote, "LOL, he couldn't even perform."
Okay, so he couldn't perform. He couldn't perform. He talking about that thing because, you know, when we talked about that thing kept falling asleep, searching for freezer meat because he started having some problems, you know. He said it was because Diddy was over there in the corner, you know. Perform. That word perform. Because I do not think that it has really came out other than freezer meat. But he said he went in there thinking that he was gonna dance, you know, put some panties on granny head and dance with the mama and, you know, lift her up and flip her over, you know. That's what he thought he was gonna do. And then he got proposition. And so he started having freezer meat. I mean, no, it went to sleep. And he didn't want to take no pills. He didn't want no Cialis. He couldn't get it because Diddy was watching. A couple of times, but he, you know, I don't believe that. I think he is not a truthful guy. Cause if he never got it up, he would not have been called back 3-4 times. And he wouldn't have fell in love thinking that he was something special to Cassie. So he ate that, and I'm not saying literally ate the cookie, but yeah, cause he fell in love. Some got up at some point. Now he may not have stayed up, cause old boy was, you heard old boy beating it, but so you could have told Cam if it was good to you or not. You know it was good. You got in there. So you a liar. So I don't listen to nothing the freezer man say, because he can't even be truthful. But he just admitting right here that it's more to it. Because he's saying he ain't paying because he couldn't perform. What that mean? Diddy ass in trouble. That's all I'm gonna say.
With Bridget, the booking agent at the male escort agency. So maybe she's not lying on the stand. How could she know that we had these receipts? Well, how could we have these receipts? Right? Later on, the government showed messages between Diddy and Bridget, Bridget, the escort lady, about payment for another escort. Bridget texted, "Good morning." The next day, she's gently noting that his payment is $600 shy of what it should be. And Diddy snapped back and texted, quote, "LOL, he couldn't even perform," end quote. Bridget reminded Diddy the fee was for the escort's time, not necessarily performance. Quote, "You could be skydiving or dancing with them," she said. "You're still paying for their time," end quote. Diddy got offended. Said he was a long-time customer and deserved respect. Eventually, they smoothed things over, and Bridget chalked.
He didn't tell that to Rico. You see how he get offended when it's a female? Yeah, you get offended when. I mean, the females back in the day. That's why I got the ugly picture on there. Before you got your teeth fixed, boy, you was something. Oh, did y'all pay attention to that thumbnail? Did y'all pay attention to that thumbnail? I said, when was this? Oh, dude, was one of his teeth gone? What? Y'all didn't pay attention. Baby, them females must have looked at you like you was something scary, and maybe that's why you hate females. So, yeah, is it out of juice? Yeah, did y'all pay attention to that thumbnail? That's all I need to know, baby, cause he has a whole type of disrespect for females. But when it's a dude, you nut up. Oh, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that. Yeah, y'all, where that tooth? Cause y'all let me show y'all what I'm talking about. We gotta go there, cause to hear how mean he was, and he got an attitude when old boy told you, "Don't touch on me, don't bump into me, don't take no pictures, put your camera up, close your laptop." You ain't say shit. You was like, okay, cool, yeah, I get it. But somebody tell you a female, then you all up and got an attitude. That tooth right there, ain't that tooth way back there? Is that tooth missing, y'all? I said, is this Diddy? If it wasn't for the moles, I would have been, is this Diddy? Y'all see, where that? So your mouth was doing that before you got your veneers? That tooth right there, I mean, no disrespect, but I'm just saying. Yeah, so back in this era, they must not have been giving you no nothing. They wasn't paying you no attention. You got looked over, walked over, looked up and down, but like, boy, stop playing. That's why I got this one up in here, because that's how he gonna look. before before it's all over, while he locked up in jail. That's about how he gonna be looking, y'all. Y'all do know that, right? Let me get back over here though, so we can finish this up.
The payment issue up to someone else booking on his behalf. Here is what's so important about that exchange that I just told you, right? This is the thing that Diddy is probably going to fight like hell. Those charges of, quote, transportation to engage in prostitution, end quote. Think of that charge. Transportation to engage in prostitution. Well, you got him dead to rights. If you got the ticket for the hooker to fly across state lines and have sex in a freak-off and pay said hooker, that is transportation to engage in prostitution. How can you booking on his behalf? Meant for another escort. Bridget texted, "Good morning." The next day, she's gently noting that his payment is $600 shy of what it should be. And Diddy snapped back and texted, quote, "LOL, he couldn't even perform," end quote. Bridget reminded Diddy the fee was for the escort's time, not necessarily performance. Quote, "You could be skydiving or dancing with them," she said. "You're still paying for their time," end quote. Diddy got offended. Said he was a long-time customer and deserved respect of what it should be. And Diddy snapped back and texted, quote, "LOL, he couldn't even perform." Bridget, the escort lady, about payment for another escort. Bridget texted, "Good morning." The next day, she's gently noting that his payment is $600 shy of what it should be. And Diddy snapped back and texted, quote, "LOL, he couldn't even perform," end quote. Bridget reminded Diddy the fee was for the escort's time, not necessarily performance. Quote, "You could be skydiving or dancing with them," she said. "You're still paying for their time," end quote. Diddy got offended. Said he was a long-time customer and deserved respect. Eventually, they smoothed things over, and Bridget chalked the payment issue up to someone else booking on his behalf. Here is what's so important about that exchange that I just told you, right? This is the thing that Diddy is probably going to fight like hell. Those charges of, quote, transportation to engage in prostitution, end quote. Think of that charge. Transportation to engage in prostitution. Well, you got him dead to rights. If you got the ticket for the hooker to fly across state lines and have sex in a freak-off and pay said hooker, that is transportation to engage in prostitution. How can you fight that? Well, if you're Diddy, how about by arguing exactly what Bridget from Cowboys and Angels just said to him in that text? Ooh. She scolded Diddy, saying that he was, quote, paying for the escort's time, not for the escort's talented sexual performance, right? Diddy will likely appeal to the jury by saying the cash that was handed over to these escorts and these bills that were paid was for the escort's time and their discretion. Nothing illegal about that. Not for the endless hours and days of sex that they doled out in the freak-offs. And then it's going to be up to the jury to, what your gut tell you. What's reasonable? What's reasonable? Is my time worth $6,000 to be discreet? Discreet about what? Or are they actually being paid?
Hey, Brian.
Because I can tell you this. One of those escorts named
I'm good.
Odie
How are you?
told us at News Nation on my Banfield show, told us
Hey,
that
Dad.
the sex was extra. Pay me extra.
He said what?
He said the deal was made.
Hold
But
on.
Sheree did not necessarily say it in that language. I
Okay,
think
so
if I
hold on.
prod him a little further, maybe I
Hold
might be able
on,
to
what?
find out if
Why
look
this
was
thing
an
ain't
understanding. Like, I'll do the sexy part here
Hold on,
rather
hold
than
on,
just
hold on.
dancing.
I was looking at something. I missed it. Hold on.
And then it's going to be up to the jury to, what your gut tell you. What's reasonable? Arguing exactly, quote, transportation to engage in prostitution, end quote. Think of that charge. Transportation to engage in prostitution. Well, you got him dead to rights. If you got the ticket for the hooker to fly across state lines and have sex in a freak-off and pay said hooker, that is transportation to engage in prostitution. How can you fight that? Well, if you're Diddy, how about by arguing exactly what Bridget from Cowboys and Angels just said to him in that text?
Mm-hmm.
She scolded Diddy, saying that he was, quote, paying for the escort's time, not for the escort's talented sexual performance, right? Diddy will likely appeal to the jury by saying the cash that was handed over to these escorts and these bills that were paid was for the escort's time and their discretion. Nothing illegal about that. Not for the endless hours and days of sex that they doled out in the freak-offs. And then it's going to be up to the jury to, what your gut tell you. What's reasonable? What's reasonable? Is my time worth $6,000 to be discreet? Discreet about what?
Well, whoa. Didn't the Punisher get on the... He testified. He testified. What? The service was... Did he... What? He can't get away from that. The service that he came for he did not perform. He testified though. He playing in folks' face with that stupid stuff.
Cowboys and Angels just said to him in that text. She scolded Diddy, saying that he was, quote, paying for the escort's time, not for the escort's talented sexual performance, right? Diddy will likely appeal to the jury by saying the cash that was handed over to these escorts and these bills that were paid was for the escort's time and their discretion. Nothing illegal about that. Not for the endless hours and days of sex that they doled out in the freak-offs. And then it's going to be up to the jury to, what your gut tell you. What's reasonable? What's reasonable?
No.
Is my time?
No. His time, yeah. So let me tell you where the coercion is in that. If he pulled that stunt, he ain't get away with no murder. Because what will happen is when the Punisher got on the stand, he said he was hired to do a bachelorette party, and he thought that he was performing, right, for somebody who was getting married. And y'all, I need 20 likes. I need 20 likes, please. And then once he got there, it switched. They switched it around. Every one of them was hired for one thing, and it got switched once they got there. They didn't know that they was going there to be a part of a corn star video. So even right there, it's coercion. Yeah, every way he tried to play it, either you lied this way or you lied this way. You manipulated this way or you manipulated that way. The very exact way he manipulated, bait and switched the male hookers, because when they went there, before dealing with Diddy, let me say it this way. Before dealing with Diddy, they were just male entertainers. Once they went and accepted that male entertainment, a stripper, they was putting on a show. Once they went there, it was bait and switch. So what they was hired for, switched it. When these girls, Cassie signed a deal, she got attached to him. She worked with him for 2 years. Nothing happened. He was grooming her. And then it switched. Jane, he done love bombed her. She really thought she was the only one. We found out last night listening to Rico that he said in front of her while she was doing her best work, she was networking. He said she was one of the best on the team. She didn't even know she was a part of a lineup. She didn't know she was a team player with that network. again, she thought that she was trying to be a wife. See, that's why I tell folks, stop giving your best nookie up, girl. I mean, what you gonna give him is shit. If you, shit. You ain't left nothing for your husband when you get one. You done gave Tom, Dick, and Harry all of that. Your husband don't get nothing special. Oh hell. And you wonder why you ain't ever got a ring? Yeah. So she thought, these girls thought that, one thought she had 10 record deals, and another one thought that she was moving it up from 50 to Diddy. Not knowing that she was being groomed to be a part of a lineup, a team. Just like the male dancers. They went in to dance and then came out being male hookers. Went in one thing, he flipped the script on everybody. Went in the stripper, came out a male escort, a male hooker. Yeah, that's what's happening. So he ain't gonna be able to flip that. I don't care how he played. You manipulated, you coerced, you was trying to record so that you could hang some over there. That's why Ricky Suave was smooth enough to close that top down. No, I don't want all that oil on me. Don't, the shit I'm feeling kind of numb and I'm feeling kind of sticky. So now, yeah, slow that down. So that's what's happening. Yeah. They go in one way, he flipped the script. Because one thing is for sure, every last one of those male entertainment cats did not know that they was going in, and they said that they had never done been a hooker before. They went in stripping. Came out a male hooker. And signed that non-disclosure. And they went in thinking it was two grand for their service and left out with $5,000 because they did something strange for a piece of more change. Oh yeah, he paid. Yeah. But in all fairness, I've been telling y'all from the beginning, when I started hearing that he paid the men more because he's more into the men. He's not into women. Whatever dysfunction he has, he not into women. He into the men, and they get paid more. In all fairness and all honesty, he respect them more. Old boy told him no. He said, okay, playboy, okay. But do you do threesomes? I want a piece of you, man. Ooh, shit. He wanted a piece of him. No, you got to go, Frank. That's what you got to do. You're not going to tell me what I got to do. You crazy. You mad because I peeped the game. I peep y'all out. Come on out the closet, Frankie. Francesca, bring your ass on out the closet, but hit the like button on your way out. Yeah, don't get mad at me. Because I can peep your freaky little game. You in the closet. Yeah. Now go diddle and daddle over there. Fat Joe into it. Jay-Z into it. Who else over there into it? Ray J. Go over there and play with them. Yeah. Don't come over here.
$6,000 to be discreet? Discreet about what?
Who got $6,000?
What did that tell you? Handed over to these escorts and these bills that were paid was for the escorts' time and their discretion. Nothing illegal about that. not for the endless hours and days of sex that they doled out in the freak-offs. And then it's going to be up to the jury to, what your gut tell you. What's reasonable? What's reasonable? Is my time worth $6,000 to be discreet? Discreet about what? Or are they actually being paid? Because I can tell you this. One of those escorts named Odie told us at News Nation on my Banfield show, told us that the sex was extra. Pay me extra.
Yeah.
He said the deal was made. But Sheree did not necessarily say it in that language. I think if I prod him a little further, maybe I might be able to find out if, look, was it an understanding? Like, I'll do the sexy part here rather than just dancing, but it's going to cost you. The dancing might cost X, but the sex will cost you XX,
Yeah, that's what that guy said last night.
As for the chaos of the communications, it didn't stop with the Cowboys and Angels. Brendan Paul, Diddy's right-hand man, was texting with somebody named Richie about IV treatments. He originally asked for 3 IV setups and then said, yeah, no worries, 2 should be enough. But Brendan Paul made one thing very clear. Combs needed extra Benadryl in his IV. Then the chart moved to the return travel from that Trump hotel weekend. Flight records confirming Jane and Kabrale's departure from New York. KK, Diddy's assistant, his chief of staff, texted Diddy after the trip, seemingly frustrated. She told Diddy not to leave a location in the middle of the night without telling her or telling the staff. She said it's a security risk, not just for him, but for everybody involved. She said, quote, Puff, seriously, I love you to death, but you have got to stop. He seemed to brush it off, and then the jury heard a voice memo, Diddy speaking directly to KK. He sounded slightly sheepish. The message started with, quote,
oh, hi, Ethan.
Choosing internet shouldn't be confusing. It should be based on how you live. Whether you're a casual streamer, a tech-forward...
Yeah, I get my likes up. I'm gonna shut it down, baby.
From home.
I don't know why I'm calling you about this. But then he got right to the point. He was out of baby oil.
Oh, wow.
He needed her to get more. I wish I could be a fly on the wall for those conversations. Hi. Those 25, 40, 80 bottles of baby oil. I'm gonna need some more. Anyway, then came the list. KK sent Diddy a full inventory of what she had requested for his extended stay. 7 bottles of baby oil, 7 bottles of Astroglide, and an Apple TV. Oh, and soup. Soup. I guess Diddy wanted a special brand of soup, because, soup. That was all he told KK to grab. He wanted her to grab some other things, in fact, other things that he might need as well, so that he wouldn't, quote, have to bother the team, end quote. And then came another request, Cialis. And when KK did not answer him fast enough, Diddy sent a message with a tone that was impossible to misread. Quote, I'm gonna keep calling you if you don't get me what I need, end quote. Next, jurors saw an angry text exchange that they had seen before. Jane wrote to Diddy, quote, I don't want to be fucked and mistreated. I don't feel like performing loveless, cold sex, end quote. Diddy shot back, calling her crazy, mocking her, quote, detective skills, end quote. Jane replied, it's been 3 years of me having to fuck strangers. They had a full-blown argument. Emotions boiled over, and finally Jane asked for a break. But just when it seemed like Jane and Diddy had hit a breaking point, the tone shifted again. Diddy sent Jane a text, said that he was horny as, quote, fuck, with 4 C's, so like fuck. I think he wanted to do the U's, but whatever. The government believes that this shows that Jane was coerced into participating in these disgusting freak-offs, even when she voiced her objections. And then finally, it was time for cross-examination. Diddy's defense team stepped up, and the pace slowed down. The rapid-fire chart reading from the prosecution gave way to something more methodical. And let's not forget here, when we say that, Jane says these things, I don't want this anymore, this is disgusting, I feel like you're a hooker, these are my words, but you heard what she said. When does it become coercion? When does it become forced? When might it, if you're Diddy's team, when might it instead be, I changed my mind. I do want to do this with you. I didn't want to do it earlier, and I told you I was pissed off, but then you gave me something shiny and pretty, and now I'm good again. Because that, I think, is what you are going to hear Diddy's lawyers say. I think you can't say that with Cassie, because I don't think he gave her shiny things except shiners, if you believe her testimony and the photos and other people's testimony. And if you believe your lying eyes when you saw her being beat to shit in a hotel hallway, I think you can't say that about Cassie. I think Cassie genuinely was afraid, right? Because she was being beaten, because she was being tracked. Even if she went to a party at Prince's house, she'd be tracked down and beaten there, according to the testimony. So that, my friends, is fear and coercion. If you want to prove to a jury of fear and coercion, you can show them that whole Cassie line of evidence. Jane, I'm not so sure. She did talk about one incident of beating, but it wasn't a pattern. With her, it was more, I want my apartment. It's expensive, it's fancy. I like this life. I have a child. I guess if you're the government, you're going to say, well, he set her up in a lifestyle and then dangled it and said, you have to do this if you want to keep it. That's a gray area, I think, for the jurors, right? So defense attorney Teddy Garagos opened with one of the prosecution's own exhibits and zoomed in on a very specific detail. 2 hotel stays listed on the chart were paid for by Sean Combs, not CEOJIZZLE, not Bad Boy Entertainment, not an alias. It was paid for by his personal name. And then she dropped something new, an invoice from CEOJIZZLE LLC directly to Sean Combs, dated September 2023. And that bill, along with something called an account quick report, showed that every single charge listed for Jane in the government's exhibit had a corresponding payment under Sean Combs' name. The implication here being that even the CEOJIZZLE charges, the ones that the prosecution labeled as like enterprise expenses, were ultimately being covered, paid back by Diddy himself. Even if he had to reimburse, his own enterprise, his own companies, like short that little extra piece that Diddy was paying it back, it just looks like he had the company pay for all this stuff. So that's going to be pretty strong. Just depends on how many of those payments, right? Maybe Jane, maybe every one of the Jane payments on that chart, but what about all the other stuff? What about the drugs? What about the other guys? What about the escorts? What about Cassie? What about? I mean, there's been so much evidence in these past many weeks. Agent Cerciello, under oath, admitted that he had never seen the invoice before, the one that I just talked about. He'd never seen the account quick report either. So maybe a bit of a surprise to the government, maybe a surprise to this agent. And it may seem like a minor accounting discrepancy, but in a RICO case, where the government has to prove that Diddy used his business to carry out his crimes, the defense hopes that this could crack the foundation, even if just a little bit. Because what's reasonable? If you're looking at doubt, what's reasonable? An eensy-weensy bit of doubt on some of the evidence? For some people, that might be reasonable. For others, they might be like, show me more. But that's why you got 12 jurors.
Yeah.
If Sean Combs, the individual,
and a whole
was
bunch
paying
of
for
charges
everything personally, that could raise questions about whether the alleged crimes were really carried out through the enterprise. But again, let's be frank, everybody. Like, work with me here. How many weeks have we been at this now? Almost 7. There's been overwhelming evidence presented showing that Diddy was regularly using his staff and petty cash and company credit cards and company vehicles, all to carry out these freak-offs, king nights, wild king nights, whatever the hell else he wanted to call them. They were the sex parties that the government said were all illegal. And that's exactly what the defense wants this jury to reject. Next, Teddy Garagos, Diddy's lawyer, brought up the text messages that were left out of the prosecution's carefully curated timelines. Messages from Jane to Diddy that weren't just warm, they were explicit. The courtroom screens lit up with messages of a sexual nature that Jane had sent to Diddy directly, texts that did not appear anywhere in the government's chronological charts. And when Garagos read Diddy's response to one of them aloud, where Diddy simply writes the word phew. Even Agent Cerciello let out a bit of a chuckle. Then the focus shifted to Jane and Kabrale. This is going to be strong for the jury, strong for Diddy. Tani Garagos introduced more text messages that were not on the prosecution's chart. And in these texts, it was Jane who was reaching out to the escort. She initiated the conversations with the male escort, even invited Kabrale to come and see her, maybe even travel with her. And their exchange quickly turned flirtatious. Jane wrote, "Sheesh, you need to come with a warning sign." And Kabrale responded by sending pictures and teasing, quote, "I'm serving orgasms and foodgasms." Jane told him she was horny,
Oh, wow.
that she was touching herself, and offered to fly him out. When Kabrale said he was on his way, Jane texted, quote, "I'm too excited right now." So think about that. That's a private conversation between Jane and the escort. This is not something to make Diddy happy.
Emergencies can strike at any time. That's why it's crucial to be
Did she get beat up for that?
Create a support system.
Right? The argument for a lot of the time has been, I pretended to be into it. I pretended to be a part of this because I wanted to make my partner happy. Well, how is it making your partner happy if you're having this private, sexy conversation with flirtatious sex messages with an escort, suggesting maybe he travel with you? That's going to be strong. That's going to be strong for Diddy. And then the videos. The screens visible to the public were shut off yet again, but the jury remained glued to their monitors. They were shown roughly 1 minute of an explicit video dated November 2021. And then another 3 minutes. And then 35 more seconds, all from the same recording. They also viewed the first minute of a second video from that same day, followed by 2 more segments, one 23 seconds long and another 40 seconds long. And then came a 2-minute clip from another night, and that video was played in full. So think about it for a second. If the government is showing pieces of video, well, then Diddy's lawyers are going to come in and show the other pieces, right? Because maybe, and I can't tell you because we weren't allowed to see them, maybe the videos that the government was showing the jury showed an incapacitated Jane or Cassie.
Right.
Maybe those videos showed Cassie and Jane looking like they were in pain, or getting directions that they didn't want to do, or arguing back saying, "I don't want to do this." Maybe. We don't know. We couldn't see or hear them. But then Diddy will put in clips that maybe show that they were really into it. Maybe that they were even doing the direction themselves. Maybe that Cassie or Jane was telling the escort, "Do more, make it." I can't say it.
Y'all remember last night when we was watching?
Really.
Hold on. Y'all remember last night when we was watching Rico?
The video that maybe was cherry picked.
And Rico.
Next.
Hello, y'all remember last night for the people who was here with me? Tea Sippers last night, and Rico was talking about at first he was giving directions. He told her, she was sitting next to Diddy, and Diddy, it wasn't charging. Oh wow. And Diddy was telling her what he wanted in the scene, or how, and they was trying to do whatever it was, and he wasn't digging it. And he didn't like all this stuff. So that's when he said, let me dance for you. So even with them, this is about the second guy I've heard say that Diddy was giving instructions, and then once he started dancing to her and got into it, he was still instructing her on what he wanted in that scene. Y'all remember that? Yeah, so he was most definitely directing. I need 5 likes, y'all. Come on. He definitely was directing. And I think the Hammer guy said that too. I don't know how he think he gonna get around not instructing. He even told, oh boy, y'all remember last night? Diddy answered the door. answered the door, asked him, do you know who I am? Played some music for him, getting him all in the mood, you know. Then said, come on over here, let me tell you what I need. What I'm doing. I like to make, you know, I'm really into making my own porn. Yeah, corn. Yeah. So there's just, if this stuff has come out, there's just no way around it. So there is possibly part of the video that he is just showing where they, when they doing what they doing, and not him coaching. But also, remember when she was all excited and she said, okay, she said, don't get me too high and dry. And I kept saying, what is she saying? What is she saying? Don't get me too high and dry. So she was implying that whatever he was doing and how he was doing it, pretty much she's saying scale back, because it was getting me too out of it. I don't want to, it's making me too high and too dry. So again, when I think about it in my head, I think about the stories of the people who have been trafficked, and they say they keep you DRUGGED up, and you be out of it for days. So, you know, I don't know how Diddy gonna play that. You could show half or something, but I need to see it all if that's what we gonna do.
The jury was shown another set of text messages.
Yep.
Jane texted Kabrale asking what he was up to and inviting him to Miami. He told her, quote, I'm definitely free Sunday. I can make that happen. Jane then texted Diddy, not to ask for permission, but to surprise him. She teased a healthy pre-gaming session, referencing like alkaline water and more of the same stuff that will help them get through like a big sex session. The tone was playful and light, affectionate. And after their encounter, Jane sent Kabrale a thank you message, which read, quote, thank you for making me feel beautiful. Kabrale replied that she'd used his, quote, government name during their time together. And Jane told him, quote, I like your name. Think about this, guys. This is Jane being sweet and lovely and saying everything was fantastic to the escort, not for Diddy's benefit, not because she's trying to make her partner happy here, right? If you're just having these quiet conversations with Kabrale, it's going to sound to the jury like you were into it, and you're still into it, because you're messaging the guy without Diddy even knowing. This is not to make your partner happy, not to please him against your will. The defense wanted to show that this was intimate.
Hold on.
Has rested. But y'all, let me tell you what really happened. Diddy was up here in this courtroom humiliating himself, doing some Green Mile, I don't know, it was some weird.
Can y'all hear?
Where he had to stand up and officially confirm that he would not be testifying. Now we are going to talk about everything that actually happened in the trial. We're going to talk about the exhibits that were admitted. We're going to talk about why Diddy thought it was a good idea not to have.
Can y'all hear?
On him. Listen, I get it. You can plead the fifth, and a lot of people would choose, listen, I'm not going to testify. But how many people, all this shit you're saying, it was
okay.
It was consensual. They wanted it. My employees didn't know. Then why didn't you bring any of them up here to testify? Why didn't you bring one SMEX worker to say, and no, I'm not talking about Tasha K. No shade to Tasha K. But why didn't you bring one SMEX worker up here and be like, hey, she looked like she was enjoying it. She was a good time. I think she was a willing victim. You couldn't find one employee from Bad Boy International. You couldn't get D-Rock up there to be like, what are you talking about? It wasn't a conspiracy. You couldn't get KK up there. All you did was read in a few text messages where Cassie was talking trash to Diddy, talking about, I love
personal,
you, I love you,
very
I love
different
you.
from the narrative that the prosecutors had spent
Young
weeks
Miami
building.
said she made him feel, he made her feel like a woman, and we all know that was BS. So why we listen to that? Y'all, let's get into this, because when I say The funniest part about it was this cosplay that Diddy tried to do. It was straight up cosplay, and it was embarrassing. He humiliated himself. House of Wild said, I'm ready for my tea. Got my mug today. Yes, you guys know we got merch out there. I'm going to show y'all in a second. But let's actually get into this slave cosplay that he was doing. Diddy, your ride's here. Diddy's ride is here.
He can't go nowhere.
What is going on? I hope everybody's okay. Oh! Listen, let's keep going. Oh man, that just made me forget. I was supposed to give Cassandra a shout out to Cassandra. Yes, to Cassandra and Melissa. And who else? Oh, that just made me forget a name. Okay, so let's get in. Not Cassandra, that's Cassie's name. Hey, what's up, Mr. Byron? How are you doing? Dennis Byron, no? We got the real Dennis Byron over here in charge. Apparently, he had a
shout out to Dennis. Shout out to
exclusive
Tisa.
with juror number 6.
Oh, he did the
And he got his
exclusive.
press pass, and he got his press credentials. Hey, what's up, mama? How you doing? Yes, the defense is rested.
And your guy talked? Did he wave at you?
What's that?
Did he wave at you?
Yeah. No, he did not. Bernard, I'm gonna text you. Okay, so what actually happened, right? God, what is her name? It's not Cassandra. Kathleen? Okay, I'm gonna have to, listen, I'm gonna have to bring her some, why did the name just forget me? Okay, it doesn't matter. I wanted to give a shout out, but I'll give it later, okay? All right, why did Diddy show up cosplaying like that ninja was at the Green Mile? They said, listen, Diddy had to stand up. Oh, y'all better. Diddy was cosplaying like he was in the Green Mile. Here's how he did, okay? So we're in the courtroom, and he has to tell the court that he plans not to testify. Now, again, I'm not gonna lie, Diddy's team has been BSing the whole time. I literally thought this was some type of Jedi mind trick. I was like, he is 100% going to testify. SP said, hi, beautiful, so when do you think we'll get the verdict? Well, I'll tell you in a second. I'll tell you now since you super chatted me. Thank you, SP.
Friday and Monday.
It's expected so tomorrow there's not going to be any court. There's no court for the jurors, but there's going to be a lot of arguing. I'm going to be there to hear the parties going back and forth arguing, but it's going to be off the record. But I'll be there to give y'all something. Court is starting around 12. Okay, so that's happening. Then they're going to have the closing arguments on Thursday. It's expected to be 4 hours for the prosecution, 4 hours for the defense. They say they're going all the way up to 5. So Thursday will be 9 to 5, full day. Friday, the case is going to the jury. So the jurors are expected to deliberate sometime Friday, if not the full day. Some of the day, Friday.
So right? Monday.
Then it could go on forever. It could be over in an hour. It could be over in a week. It could be over in 2 weeks. No one knows how much the jury is going to deliberate. What happens when juries deliberate? It means that people don't argue. One person desperately thinks he's innocent. Another person desperately thinks he's guilty, and they're trying to convince each other. This could take a day, an hour.
Are they going to let them go home?
2 weeks. I don't know if juries can deliberate a month. I don't think a jury's ever gone that long, but that's how we know. So nobody knows how long the jury.
So they could be there all weekend.
Deliberate.
They don't let them go home on deliberation.
Where did he humiliate himself? So let me set the scene. Diddy had to say on stand, okay, in the courtroom to the judge that he was not planning to testify, okay? And you have to say, do you understand? Are you making this free and clear of your own will? This time in the third. Marlene, thank you so much. Mewiru, thank you so much for the super chat. So, the judge says Diddy has to formally announce this. So the judge says, so I understand that you're not testifying, right? And he needed to be allocuted, right? That means when you make the formal thing, right? And he stands up, right? And he pops up and he's standing like this. And I was like, what is this ninja doing? He's always up to something, right? And he was like, hi, Your Honor, with his arms like this. Yes, Your Honor. As if he's on the green
The argument for a lot of the time has been, I pretended to be into it. I pretended to be
he was like,
a part of this because I wanted to make my...
He jumps up. How you doing, Your Honor? And can I just say, you're doing an amazing job.
Ladies, listen. Oh, wow.
The video showing the pink salt trick that melts belly fat while you sleep has already passed 20.
You need to come with a warning. I swear to God, he was cosplaying at the Green Mile. And you know that Ninja likes putting on a show. And you cannot tell me he was not with the rats and roaches in his jail cell putting on a show. Diddy, shut up. We have seen you perform.
You're doing an amazing job.
We have seen you on the BET stage. We have seen you all. You really expect us to believe that all of a sudden you now camera shy and you don't know what to do and you're like, yes, Your Honor. When you're like,
how I see.
Anyway, Gina, what's up, Mama? How you doing? Oh, also, Alteen Ahmed, thank you so much for the super chat. And Gina, thank you for becoming the newest member of the Tattle. There, jump up, and he got his arms hanging on him. Like all of a sudden, I love the way it's like, Ninja, we've been watching you for how many weeks? We know the way you stand, right? Shannon Kelly, thank you for being the newest member. So he was like, and I'd like to say you're doing an excellent job. Judge Aaron was on the bench. It was like, thank you. Okay, so he literally stopped because we were all like, what the hell?
Oh, come on, Tisa.
What you do? No, you're doing an excellent
job.
I lied to
Atalia
He
Williams.
was standing there, holding his arms and talking like that. Even when he talked, the body went, an excellent job.
Okay, I can go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Your Honor. Diddy, shut up. You don't get stage fright. You are a performer. This ain't that. This would be like Brad Pitt or Denzel Washington trying to act like, oh, what should I do?
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that first, cause let me finish doing what I was doing with this, cause this is over here was
So think about that. That's a private conversation between Jane and the escort. This is not something to make Diddy happy, right? The argument for a lot of the time has been, I pretended to be into it. I pretended to be a part of this because I wanted to make my partner happy. Well, how is it making your partner happy if you're having this private, sexy conversation with flirtatious sex messages with an escort, suggesting maybe he travel with you? That's going to be strong. That's going to be strong for Diddy. And then the videos. The screens visible to the public were shut off yet again, but the jury remained glued to their monitors. They were shown roughly 1 minute of an explicit video dated November 2021, and then another 3 minutes, and then 35 more seconds, all from the same recording. They also viewed the first minute of a second video from that same day, followed by 2 more segments, one 23 seconds long and another 40 seconds long. And then came a 2-minute clip from another night, and that video was played in full. So think about it for a second. If the government is showing pieces of video, well, then Diddy's lawyers are going to come in and show the other pieces, right? Because maybe, and I can't tell you because we weren't allowed to see them, maybe the videos that the government was showing the jury showed an incapacitated Jane or Cassie. Maybe those videos showed Cassie and Jane looking like they were in pain, or getting directions that they didn't want to do, or arguing back saying, I don't want to do this. Maybe. We don't know. We couldn't see or hear them. But then Diddy will put in clips that maybe show that they were really into it. Maybe that they were even doing the direction themselves. Maybe that Cassie or Jane was telling the escort,
Dana, bye.
Do more. Make it. I can't say it.
you came in and didn't even speak.
Really.
So how dare you come in with a sad
that maybe was
girl? Bye.
Next, the jury was shown another set of text messages. Jane texted
Y'all say
Kabrale
bye to
asking
Dana.
what he was up to and inviting him to Miami. He told her, quote, "I'm definitely free Sunday. I can make that happen." Jane then texted Diddy, not to ask for permission, but to surprise him. She teased a healthy pre-gaming session, referencing like alkaline water and more of the same stuff that will help them get through like a big sex session. The tone was playful and light, affectionate. And after their encounter, Jane sent Kabrale a thank you message, which read, quote, "Thank you for making me feel beautiful." Kabrale replied that she'd used his, quote, government name during their time together. And Jane told him, quote, "I like your name." Think about this, guys. This is Jane being sweet and lovely and saying everything was fantastic to the escort, not for Diddy's benefit, not because she's trying to make her partner happy here, right? If you're just having these quiet conversations with Kabrale, it's going to sound to the jury like you were into it, and you're still into it, because you're messaging the guy without Diddy even knowing. This is not to make your partner happy, not to please him against your will. The defense wanted to show that this was intimate and personal and very different from the narrative that the prosecutors had spent weeks building, the forced and fraudulent and coerced narrative. And for the defense, these messages, raw, revealing, and absent from the government's timeline, were the kind of context that they're counting on to raise reasonable doubt. And that is how day 28 came to a close, with Agent Joseph Cerciello stepping down for the day and the courtroom bracing for this final stretch. Thank you, Jesus. Now, he's going to be back tomorrow, just for the morning, to finish off his cross-examination. But after that, my friends, the government will rest its case. But now we need to talk about those shocking text messages that I told you about at the beginning of this episode. First, though, there is something that's really getting under my skin lately. It's my data. It is out there, it is everywhere, and so is yours, I'm sorry to say. And I am really sick and tired of getting spammed. I'm sick and tired of getting scammed left, right, and center. Data brokers are responsible. They are freaking selling our information, everybody, to the highest bidder, and they're making a fortune. It turns out that we have rights, though, when it comes to these data brokers. We have the right to tell them, take my information down, and then they have to do it. That sounds great, but it's a big problem to scan the entire web and find all the data brokers who are doing this and shut them down one by one, because they just keep propping up like whack-a-mole. So I use a service called Incogni. They have wiped so much of my data from so many databases.
Do you know me in real life, Brian?
Remember the drink I told you to pour, or whatever it is? They're screenshots, and they are internal messages that were shared between Diddy's staff members and your Zen from. Over the weekend, the government released pages and pages of internal message dead, and let's get these mofos to take our data down, y'all. Now, back to the messages. Remember the drink I told you to pour, or whatever it is that you get your Zen from? Over the weekend, the government released pages and pages of internal messages that were shared between Diddy's staff members. And let me be very, very clear. These are real messages. They're screenshots, and they are so incredibly insightful about the daily routines around pleasing their boss. No matter what the request, nothing was too much for these people. Forget hearsay. This is Diddy's inner circle, coordinating hotels, the setups, the sex parties, the drug runs, and the oily inventory checks in writing. So let's start with the basics, and I'm going to need to give you a bit of a glossary of terms here. There's AG, and there's BO, and BO is not body odor. AG stands for Astroglide, and BO stands for, can you guess? Baby oil. So Joey Chavez, one of Diddy's assistants, writes this: need more BO and AG tomorrow before everyone's leaving Thursday morning. Frank Butler, another staffer, responds, just packed 30 bottles of baby oil, Joey. Exactly how much of each do we need? And Joey doesn't hesitate, responding, as much as possible. Later, Joey asks, what's our being? Is an employee.
Oh, hold on, because I had to take that. Hold on. To go to jail. Y'all hear that? Who told her? Who what?
Packed 30 bottles of baby oil, Joey. Exactly how much of each do we need? And Joey doesn't hesitate, responding, as much as possible. Later, Joey asks, what's our BO/AG count? And Frank replies, 30 plus on each. And then came this from Frank Butler. We need to put Jane on payroll if she ain't already. That's important, right?
Oh,
because now you're suggesting.
What year was this?
Jane is an
Hold
employee
on. What did she say a year?
And is now responsible. Exactly how much of each stands for Astroglide, and BO is Diddy's inner circle, coordinating hotels, the setups, the sex parties, the drug runs, and the oily inventory checks in writing. So let's start with the basics, and I'm going to need to give you a bit of a glossary of terms here. There's AG, Diddy's inner circle, coordinating hotels, the setups, the sex parties, the drug runs, and the oily inventory. Insightful about the date, 60% off. Again, you're Zen from? Over the weekend, the government released pages and pages of internal messages that were shared between Diddy's staff members. And let me be very, very clear. These are real messages. They're screenshots, and they are so incredibly insightful about the daily routines around pleasing their boss. No matter what the request, nothing was too much for these people. Forget hearsay. This is Diddy's inner circle, coordinating hotels, the setups, the sex parties, the drug runs, and the oily inventory checks in writing. So let's start with the basics, and I'm going to need to give you a bit of a glossary of terms here. There's AG, and there's BO, and BO is not body odor. AG stands for Astroglide, and BO stands for, can you guess? Baby oil. So Joey Chavez, one of Diddy's assistants, writes this. Need more BO and AG tomorrow before everyone's leaving Thursday morning. Frank Butler, another staffer, responds, just packed 30 bottles of baby oil, Joey. Exactly how much of each do we need? And Joey doesn't hesitate, responding, as much as possible. Later, Joey asks, what's our BO/AG count? And Frank replies, 30 plus on each. And then came this from Frank Butler. We need to put Jane on payroll if she ain't already. That's important, right? Because now you're suggesting Jane.
And they got an enterprise. This is a business.
On payroll.
So they have
now responsible
a porn star
for
business.
Sex. Right. As an employee. Very important, right? Talking enterprise. That text in the middle of coordinating a hotel sex setup was even loved by another assistant, but it gets even more explicit. A Puff assistant sends this message, okay, I need to refresh her bag of dicks and send to her.
Oh, wow.
Let me reread that for a hot minute. Okay, I need to refresh her bag of dicks and send to her. And Brendan Paul, yes, the same Brendan Paul that took immunity just a few days ago, the basketball star from Syracuse University, he does a LOL. He laughs at the message. And Frank Butler adds, need the sex luggages and light, which I think means lights, because there were always red lights set up in hotels when the freak-offs were happening, according to the government.
So they all knew.
Some references that appear to suggest picking up drugs downtown. Another assistant jumps in and says, shit, I know it's going to be good. Let's get
wow.
Lesson 3, savings.
So at this point,
setting up your financial
this got to be 2023.
Unlock a whole new level of financial. And then from Frank Butler, quote, we about to find out. Diddy's longtime assistant KK then checks in on the hotel prep. She texts the team asking how the setup was going and what Jane needs. And one assistant responds that they'll get an outfit or that they'll get outfit options and send them directly to Jane. But KK replies, send them to me, and I'll send them on to Jane. And then there is the hotel cleanup messages, and brace yourself for this one. Because several assistants have already testified that they were tasked with cleaning up Diddy's hotel rooms post-freak-off. This was, according to them, so that the hotel staff wouldn't come in first, be able to see all this evidence of what happened there, maybe even snap some pictures and sell pictures to the tabloids. So, Diddy's staff members were asked to come in beforehand and clean up, according to the government. The staff members testified that there were regularly baby oil and lube all over the place, on the furniture, on the bed, on the floor, the curtains, the walls, plus used condoms that needed picking up. One assistant said he wore gloves for cleanliness. Sheets and towels were scattered all over the place. And KK texts this, how's the cleanup going? And the response from Diddy's assistant, Joey Chavez, slipped and fell twice. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or if it actually happened, but I immediately got a picture that I will never be able to unsee in my mind of all this lube and baby oil everywhere, and Joey Chavez like whoop, feet out from under him, boom, right on his back because of the lube. But I don't know, maybe it was a joke. And then what about the drugs? Diddy's staff didn't hide a thing. They refer repeatedly to the Gucci bag, code for the designer bag that the government says and witnesses say held Diddy's personal stash of drugs.
Everybody had
One
a bag.
assistant confirms the Gucci bag means his drug bag. Another thread discusses how to retrieve it while warning not to steal his Adderall. And if you think that's wild, just wait. One page is basically an entire shopping list for an orgy. One assistant writes, order a huge shipment of baby oil and Astroglide. The next entry is the shopping list itself. 16 3-ounce bottles of baby oil, 24 14-ounce bottles of baby oil, 15 5-ounce bottles of Astroglide, and 15 2.5-ounce bottles of Astroglide. Quote, since huge is relative, let me know if you don't think that's enough, end quote. And the reply to that order, double it. Quote unquote, double it. An assistant also asks, can we start storing it in the black bathroom? I'd prefer that there's no lube or personal sexy time items in the gift room, end quote. And then somebody says, Brian, we need all hands on deck in the master. PD about to come home, his master's a mess. I just can't imagine being on these text chains every day, all these assistants talking about sexy items, sexy time items, and lube and baby oil, and clean it up, and Diddy's master's a mess, and we got to get that going. I just can't imagine being that kind of an assistant. Later on in the text messages, they're scrambling. They've run out of supplies. One assistant writes, Brian, following up with all these ordered, we will need it delivered as soon as possible. Honestly, can we Instacart? Then on another page, it turns out that Instacart ran out, didn't have enough to fill the order. It was so big. So the assistant planned to drive out and get it themselves. And later on, if you ask the prosecutors, this orchestration goes into full racketeering mode. KK sends out a full week-long operations plan to the team. Jane is scheduled for multiple Wild King nights. The team is instructed to be fully staffed and on standby. And then the plan shifts.
24
the
hours a
rapper,
day.
Young Miami, Diddy's other girlfriend, also scheduled to arrive. And right after Diddy is finished with Jane.
Also, her name came up in there? I didn't think her name really came up in there.
It's clear from what KK writes to the staff that after Jane's Wild King nights, there will be no Wild King nights in the Turks and Caicos when Diddy is with Young Miami. The next message, a full staff schedule, Tuesday through Sunday. The entire enterprise, from sex supplies to travel, cleaning, coordination, and drug handling, was fully organized, staffed, and documented according to prosecutors.
Gina
and
was,
KK even closes the message with this warning, quote, only sharing
Which
with this group and not for publication.
Did he say Gina? Who needed to be?
It's funny because a lot of the complaints that Jane had on the stand was that she was upset she was the only one who was being forced to do the sex work, the freak off nights, the wild king nights, whatever you want to call them. She was the one having to endure 1, 2, 3, 4 escorts all in one go round that could last up to 3 days with, you know, a night maybe she had hoped would just be them. She said people like Young Miami, other girlfriends, were getting these trips to the Turks and Caicos with no wild king nights. Why was I the one being forced to do all this other stuff? So, you know, it's another thing for the jury to take into account. Some of the women were made to do all that stuff. Others were given beautiful birthday parties and trips and cruises and the yacht treatment. But if the girlfriend who was with the escorts was into it, then isn't that on her? That's what they're going to have to decide. And as for KK, oops, that whole list of weekend setups, and I didn't mean this for group publication or publication to the, you know, it's only for us. I guess she did not count on a federal raid, an indictment, a trial, and seized devices that would be squeezed like oranges until every drop of communications was collected and then put into a chart for the jury, for the courtroom.
Like, how do you get on the witness stand with that?
Agent Cerciello is the last witness that the prosecution plans to call, the final voice in their sweeping case against Sean Diddy Combs, a.k.a. Puff, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Love. I still don't get that one, Love. As for the defense, before the jury was even seated this morning, Diddy's lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, told the court that they will likely not be calling a single witness.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Instead, the defense says it plans to introduce a series of pre-approved exhibits into the record. Quiet, controlled, no fireworks, just paperwork. The message is clear. It seems that Diddy's lawyers believe the government hasn't proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the standard. The charts, the texts, the videos. Diddy's lawyers maybe think that's not enough. You didn't do the trick. You didn't get there. It's either that, or Diddy and his team could not find a single witness to make Diddy look good. A single witness that could withstand a withering and damning cross-examination from the government if Diddy put that person up on the stand. Plenty of people would go up there and say, he was a great guy, great boss, I loved him, I learned so much, what a businessman, wow, billionaire, blah, blah, blah. He got game, fashion sense. But then would come the cross-examination, and the government would probably, maybe, be able to tear them a new one. And maybe that's what Diddy's lawyers were too afraid of. All the people they could find, if they could find any, to say all these glowing things about Diddy or refute all the things the government has said, well, they'd have to swear an oath and they'd have to answer really hard questions when the other side gets its turn. And then what about Diddy himself? Diddy on the stand. Dang it. I was hoping that the King complex would mean he'd eschew the advice of his lawyers and get on up there himself and just have at her. At which point the government would have at her. Way too dangerous.
What Elvis said.
Just way too dangerous for him to take
He
a
missed
stand.
his mama.
Any lawyer will tell you that, right?
He missed his mama.
So I guess maybe he listened. And now
he a trope from the most recent who's always been a loser.
Cerciello tomorrow, and once that's done, both sides will begin preparing.
Keep making
for
different
the showdown
pages.
that we've all been waiting
It's that
for.
bomb from the most recent
arguments. They are set to begin on Thursday, and they will not be short. Ms. Garagos told the court today that both the defense and the prosecution expect to take at least 4 hours each to deliver their final arguments.
Thank you, because I wasn't paying no attention. And look, it's not just about whether that courtroom wants to sit there. It's the entire courthouse. It's security. It's the bailiffs. It's the court officers. It's everything. It's the front doors. You can't just set your hours in that courtroom. It's got to correspond with the rest of the courthouse too. So they may not be able to get 2 sets of closing arguments in one day, but I will hope they will. Because if they do, it means that this jury could be deliberated by Friday afternoon.
7 weeks of testimony.
I need to check that dude.
Hundreds of exhibits.
Do they go home while deliberating? I don't think so.
Unthinkable allegations, and now it all comes down to.
Let me double check. In New York, do they deliberate on the weekend?
Final chance to frame this story, and one final decision by 12 jurors. Make sure you're subscribed because the next few days are going to be massive. I'm Ashley Banfield. Thank you so much for watching, and remember,
we're not okay, y'all. Oh yeah, they mad, child, when the truth come out. I don't care. Or it's that loser from the Mo 3 sector. That's out. He's on house arrest and shit and can't do nothing but troll people. And he a hater. Cause he's a loser. Yeah. Got mommy issues. I think that's the one who I reminded his mama's a drunk and look like a old English 800. Yeah, so when he come over here like that, he just want some attention because he bored that house with that thing on his leg. Okay, y'all, before I go, I want to double check to see if you are deliberating in, oh, I just threw that in there, didn't I? Yeah, child. He under investigation already anyway. You know. I mean, because ain't no real man gonna sit on, he get a check just to troll. And he love fooling with people who don't care nothing about him. Nothing. Shit. Never have, never will. Oh, hold on, but let me check. Go play with your kids. Yeah. You got a whole bunch of them and you don't even interact with them. Running from the law and left your kids. Yeah, go on. You better play with somebody safe. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, so deliberation on the weekend. NYC, I need to check that. I need to know that. Yeah, real men need to grow up. NYC. I'm checking, y'all. Bear with me. How long does... No, do jury duty run on weekends? Hold on. Maybe I need, okay. Most trials last more than a single day. Jury are instead sent home for the night with instructions to isolate themselves until. Yeah, so they go home, even during deliberation. For most trials, it's more than a single. Jurors are instead sent home for the night with instructions to isolate themselves from inappropriate influence until they return and the trial resumes. Even during deliberation. Okay, yeah, so it says they deliberate. Now put your mama up there, Timothy. What your mama look like? Yeah, change your picture to your mama. Let me see. Yeah, so y'all, it's saying that it goes through the weekend. I mean, that they go home on the weekend. So if they get it, the jury get it on Friday, they'll start their deliberation. Ooh, I wouldn't trust that at all. Especially with so much stuff that they got with their witnesses. Okay, well, I'll be back later. I'm finna go. I gotta return these calls that's been coming through. I'll be back later, y'all. Peace out. Bye. And now it won't hang up, Lord.